Pressure. It comes in countless forms, shapes, and sizes. It means different things to different people. It can make you, and it can break you.
No good. Wide right.
But when playoff time comes around in the NFL, pressure takes on a whole new meaning. Every game, every quarter, every snap, the stress mounts. The consequences of failure are permanent.
No, he cannot.
But then, so are the triumphs.
Montana airs it out.
The path to the prize is all about pressure. Some can deal, and some cannot. And there is only one way to know who is who. Coaches, can you feel it? Players, can you taste it? It's on. Now, are you ready for some playoff football?
That's all, folks. Players and fans, come on, everybody say, the playoffs rock the old US of A. Hit it! Come on and hit it! Come on and get ready! Are you ready for some football? A wild card party! It's do or die time, so let's get it started! So on balance, the charge.
Important for, as I said earlier, for Chad Pennington to show that he can throw the ball and throw it early. I wouldn't be surprised if they came out on the first offensive play and threw a deep one.
And they're going to get the ball because Nate Kading, a rookie out of Iowa, picked in the 3rd round, very high for a kicker. There he is to another rookie, Jericho Cotchery, who's the new Jets run-back man. He took over a few weeks ago. He ran one back 94 yards for a touchdown last week at St. Louis. Still some smoke from the fireworks enveloping the stadium, but here we go in San Diego with a kick fielded by Cotchery at the 5-yard line, and straight up the middle he comes to the 27-yard line. 1st and 10 there for the Jets, and here they are offensively.
Chad Pennington, Marshall.
Curtis Martin, Pitt.
Gerald Soule, Tulane University. Justin McCarron's, Northern Illinois.
Santana Moss, University of Miami.
Anthony Beck, West Virginia.
Jason Fabini, University of Cincinnati.
Pete Kendall, Boston College.
Kevin Mawai, LSU.
Brandon Moore, University of Illinois.
Quinn McKenzie, Penn State.
So Pennington leads them to the line. The ball is at the 26-yard line. Martin is the running back, and they begin on the ground with the NFL rushing champion for no gain. Tackled by the safety Terrence Keel. Here are the Charger defensive starters.
Jacques Zev, Southern Connecticut State. Jamal Williams, Oklahoma State University.
Igor Olshansky, University of Oregon.
Bentley, Kansas State University.
Donnie Edwards, Chula Vista High School.
Randall Godfrey, University of Georgia Bulldogs.
Steve Foley, from Hanger Hill High.
Quinn Jammer, University of Texas.
Terrence Kill, University of Texas A&M.
Jared Wilson, Southern University.
Drake Florence, Tuskegee University.
That's Wade Phillips, the defensive coordinator, starters, and Pennington to throw. And with double coverage, the pass is knocked away by Quentin Jammer. They tried to go to McCarron's. Good coverage by the San Diego secondary, and that is a secondary that ranked 31st in pass defense out of the 32 teams.
Right, and I think this was still a good play here by Chad Pennington to come out and throw the ball and try and throw it deep. Now, they went maximum protection. They really only had one receiver out there, so when you only have one receiver going deep, you're going to have 2 or 3 defenders right around them. Now his motion there looked pretty normal.
Looked normal, and again, that shoulder injured in November at Buffalo. He missed 3 starts and hasn't looked the same since. 3rd down and 9. The deep drop, the little hop by Pennington, and then he finds the open man up at the 44-yard line. And as you suggested, John, they go early to Santana Moss and pick up a 1st down.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing that Herm Edwards was talking about that he would like to do is to get Chad Pennington out there, throw the ball, get it to an explosive player. An explosive player is Santana Moss. Now you see, as you say, he hopped into that one. One of the things that, talking to Chad Pennington, he said the thing that he worries about is overcompensating. He'll feel that his shoulder is bad, he doesn't have enough strength there, so overcompensate with other parts. That time he didn't.
16-yard gain. Off the play fake, buying some time. Pennington going deep again, and that pass is incomplete. Justin McCarron's the intended receiver. Herm Edwards finishing his 4th year. It's the 3rd time he's taken the Jets to the playoffs. First time in the history of the franchise. They've made 3 postseason appearances in a 4-year span, and as you can see, the rain is going to probably come and go tonight, and right now it's coming pretty good.
You know, and Paul Hackett is the offensive coordinator and calls the plays, but Herm Edwards interjected a little this week, and that was one of the things he interjected. Let's try and get the ball to Santana Moss early and deep.
2nd and 10. Martin to the 45. Paul Hackett is the man who's really been under fire. You and I both read all of the papers. Hackett has gotten, I wouldn't say the press is bad, but a guy serving a 20-year prison term or a former Enron executive gets better publicity these days than Hackett does.
Yeah, and you know that's the thing today, isn't it? That that they need a scapegoat, and if you can't do anything about the quarterback because he's injured, and you just gave him a big contract, and you like the head coach, then you have to go to someone, and sometimes that sacrificial lamb becomes that offensive coordinator.
This time Hackett calls in a play that empties the backfield on 3rd down and 8. That's Martin now reassuming his normal position, staying in the block. Pennington throwing, and that's caught at the San Diego 40 by Justin McCarron. So Pennington comes out throwing, and the Jets are on the move early. 16 yards there.
And I think this is very smart by the Jets for 2 reasons. 1, to establish that Chad Pennington could throw the ball, and 2, that if it's going to be a wet field and it's going to be a slow field, get it now while it's still relatively dry and relatively fast. Very good protection here. That's the thing. I mean, you just have to give Chad Pennington enough time to find his receiver and step up in the pocket.
Now Martin comes out and Lamont Jordan comes in. Martin's backup, and a guy who averaged better than 5 yards a carry. And they give it to him. And Jordan, who can bust one, has a 1st down and a 16-yard gain. So 2 16-yard passes, and now a run here by Lamont Jordan.
Yeah, it was funny talking to Herm Edwards, and he said, you know, explosive players, and you're going to have to get the explosive players into the game. And the 2 guys that he talked about were Santana Moss and Lamont Jordan. But you're going to get a good lead block there by the fullback, good block by the center. They got some movement. Jamal Williams is a big factor in that run game, 76 for the Chargers. They have to get him blocked if they're going to run the ball.
The Jets start with 3 sweet 16s. 16-yard gains on 2 passes and a run, and now Jordan chugs his way for a couple. Takes it to the 22-yard line. So Jordan, who may see more action tonight, during the regular year he only carried 4 times in the 1st quarter. And here comes the oldest rushing champion in the history of the NFL at 31 and 8 months.
You know, in the whole San Diego Charger defense was based to stop Curtis Martin. I mean, you know, they figured that he not only carries the ball all the time, he's the guy that they have to stop. But on the first 15 plays, they broke it down in 6 games. He touches the ball more than half the times. Not in this game.
2nd down and 9. More than 4 minutes into the game. Pennington. He'll take off and take it to the 17-yard line. He's hit there by the outside linebacker Ben Lieber. A little short of the 1st down, about 3 yards in fact.
I don't know that I want to use the word brilliant this early in the game, but I think what the Jets are doing offensively is brilliant because, you know, they come into this game and they say that, you know, Chad Pennington can't throw the ball. It's going to be a running game. We got to stop Curtis Martin. They get 8 men up and come out passing and loosen up that Charger defense early.
Marty Schottenheimer looking on as his team faces another third down here. This is the opening drive of the game. The Jets have already moved 57 yards. Gerald Soule, the fullback, is in motion. Martin is out in the flat. Pennington throws, and the pass is caught, but it's short of the first down. He goes underneath the Justin McCarrons. Randall Godfrey, the linebacker, along with Ben Lieber, stop him, and it will be fourth down and a short 2.
You know, and then what do you do on fourth down? This is the one that you're going to have to kick. You're going to see Justin McCarrons coming around here, and you see the yellow line all the way. Now, he's really underneath that first down marker on his pattern. Had he just gone about 2 or 3 yards deeper, he would have had a shot at it. You know, Chad Pennington was saying last night that we're not very good in the red zone. The Jets haven't been very good there. He said, but we're very good in the goal line. He said, if we can just get the ball, when we get it in the red zone, get it to the goal line, then we're pretty successful.
Requesting a measurement. It's well short of the first down, but the Jets want to see just how far. So I said a short 2. It's a long 1.
Well, in the confidence in that goal line offense, they could use it right here if they wanted to go for it, because short yardage and goal line offense is really the same thing. The Jets aren't going to do it.
Curtis Martin won the rushing title by that measurement, 1 yard over Sean Alexander of Seattle, and that's too much for Herman Edwards to decide to go for it. They'll settle for a 3-point attempt from Doug Bryan, 33-yarder. Toby Goen to hold it.
I think this is a smart play.
James Dirth to snap it. In the rain. And the kick is wide to the right. Snap was perfect. Hold was good. And Bryan comes up empty. Chargers with the football when we come back. It's the wildest NFL playoffs ever with new Wild Cherry Pepsi. It's the Cherry Cola. Doug Bryan, after that 5.5-minute drive, missing that 33-yard attempt, and that gives San Diego the ball at the 23-yard line. They start with a double tight end set. Justin Peel and Antonio Gates are in there. Drew Brees, out of Purdue, comeback player of the year in the NFL. And their first play from scrimmage will be a Brees pass if he can get it off. Rolling to his left. Patient finds Peel, the other tight end, playing on the other side of the Pro Bowl bound Gates, and it's a first down on San Diego's first play.
Yeah, and that was great pass protection. That was going to be a quick pass, and you could see Drew Brees backs out. He was trying to throw short and quick, and it was covered. Then he has to hold it and hold it and hold it. Watch him. See, he's going to there. Then he has to hold it. But look at that pass protection to give him all the time for Peel to get that deep.
20 yards for a guy who had caught only 10 balls all year. Now LaDainian Tomlinson's first carry takes him up to the 44-yard line. For Tomlinson, he's been in the league now 4 years, played his college football at TCU, signed a long-term contract in the offseason when he had a chance maybe to play out the contract and go someplace else, and that was a big statement for this franchise. In motion he goes, and then Brees throws to the outside, and it's caught there by Antonio Gates, who made a big splash this year. He's tripped up, and here's the Charger offense.
Drew Brees, Purdue Boilermakers. LaDainian Tomlinson, TCU.
Lorenzo Neal, Fresno State University.
Eric Parker, Joliet Township High School.
Keenan McCardell, UNLV.
Antonio Gates, Kent State University.
Roman Obin, Louisville Cardinals.
Saludo a telefono T, University of Nebraska.
Nick Hardwick, Purdue.
Mike Goff, Iowa Hawkeyes.
Shane Olivier, The Ohio State University.
That offensive line, coached by Hudson Houck, is some story, which we'll detail as we go along here. Third down and 6 out of the shotgun. Brees throws over the middle and underneath, and then slipping down short of the first down after he makes the catch at the 49-yard line is Eric Parker. So he loses his footing, and San Diego will have to kick.
San Diego had an interesting start there. They get that first down, and then they go no huddle. They kind of caught the Jets off balance. Then they went back into a huddle, And then the Jets kind of got their defense coordinated again.
Mike Cyphers will punt. Santana Moss, despite that hamstring and the wet field, running back the punt.
You know, this guy's a heck of a punter, Al. I mean, this is another part of the Chargers story.
Floater here, fair catch called for, and that pins New York at the 10-yard line. Does his job there. Moss with a fair catch. Jets have it for the second time with no score halfway through the opening quarter. Down, field in pretty good shape. Michelle talking about it. They had it covered. If this were a racetrack, it would still be listed as fast. 11-yard line. Jets start their second drive. Martin cuts it back. Flag is thrown. Ed Hockley's crew will work the game. It's our first penalty of the night.
Holding offense, number 66. Half the distance to the goal, reaching first down.
That's Pete Kendall, who started the season in Arizona, and then he was released by Dennis Green and came here. Herman Edwards actually coached under Marty Schottenheimer when Marty was in Kansas City. Herm, for 3 seasons, was the defensive backfield coach. Then went to the front office, and then Tony Dungy brought him back into coaching as an assistant at Tampa Bay, and then he got the Jets job in 2001. First and 15 from the 5-yard line. Martin again with a big hole over the right side. Out to the 18-yard line, tackled by the linebacker Steve Foley.
Kevin Mawai gets everything started here. When you play that 3-man line, we always talk about that. You have to get a block on the nose tackle on Jamal Williams. Then he gets in there behind Moore and McKenzie on that right side. You see they block down, and they start to take away the inside. And he just goes to the outside. Here's Mawai. Here's where it all starts, right here. You can't let him get penetration. If he gets penetration, that fouls up the run in the backfield.
Good block by Beck. It's second down and 3 at the 18-yard line. The fake, and that buys a ton of time, and Pennington can't make it pay off. And a flag comes in, though. Justin McCarron's flag in the secondary. The coverage on Drayton Florence.
That was a good read by Chad Pennington. I mean, that's what you're looking for. He has McCarron zero in the end, and he can lead him. It's just man-to-man coverage. Drayton Florence was right there with him. What they're doing is they're playing 8 men up.
Defense, number 29, before the pass is thrown. 5-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
The Chargers are playing 8 men up to stop the run, so this passing is really going to be open. You see the 8 men up here. Now, once McCarron starts to the inside right here, the safety's going to the other side. If he just runs away from Florence a little more, that could have been a big play.
Michelle addressed the injury to Sammy Davis, the right corner at the top of the show. He's down. He has been down, though Florence has been playing a lot, but Davis would otherwise assume the starting role there. First down and 10 from the 23-yard line. And a little dump off to Martin. And Martin picks up the first down, and Curtis gets up to the 35-yard line.
There's been a lot of talk about Chad Pennington and his footwork, and he says what happens when you have a bad shoulder, a bad throwing shoulder, then you try and compensate. And he said, you know, for the last couple of weeks he'd been compensating and his footwork wasn't right. But now he has a wet field and you see his footwork. Now that's pretty good. I mean, that's what he takes his drop, then he takes his hop, and then he makes his throw.
At the 35-yard line, first down for the Jets, who have 84 yards thus far in the first period. And Pennington swings it out to McCarron's. You know, you're looking at a drive like this, and the Jets will nibble at you. I mean, last week they went into the locker room after controlling the ball almost the whole first half, trailing. And they had numbers on one drive last week, John, I can't remember seeing. 14 plays, 37 yards.
Yeah, I mean, that's 3 yards in a cloud of dust in Ohio State offense.
That's Terrence Keel, who's shaken up for San Diego.
DeQuincy Scott gets that left knee right there, and luckily Keel got the foot out of the ground.
Second down and 3 now for the Jets from the 42. Martin is able to thread his way up to the 47. Curtis Martin, 10th year, every year he's been in the league, and he started, you'll recall, with the Patriots and then came to the Jets when Parcells brought him to New York. 10 years, each over 1,000 yards. 1697, one more than Alexander. Yards per carry, which normally averages about 4.0, 4.6, and didn't lose a fumble. That's nothing new. Here's a guy who almost never fumbles.
And I think that is the definition of steady excellence.
1st and 10, 47, a little flea flicker, and Pennington has time and throws over the middle, and the receiver McCarron slips. So he had gotten open, and then Pennington got it down there, but he slips to the turf, and it's 2nd and 10.
Well, he had McCarron's coming across, and then he had the deep guy, and that's the one he was trying to hit. He had Santana Moss down the sideline deep, and if you look here, he looks out there to the right first, and he doesn't have anything. He doesn't have Moss deep, so he comes off to get McCarron's. McCarron slips, and I don't know that was a very good throw.
McCarron's coming over to trade with the Titans in the offseason. Again, to be joined this late. Corbett is inactive tonight. Jets minus a receiver. 2nd down and 10 from the 47-yard line. And off the fake, out in the flat, it comes to Lamont Jordan. He's across the 50 into San Diego territory to the 49-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 6 with 4 minutes to play in the scoreless first quarter.
Yeah, and the Jets are moving the ball. I mean, they got down there the last time on that 3rd down. I thought McCarron's on that crossing pattern kind of left them a little short. Then they had a kick, and they missed the kick. Now they're going again pretty well. But this is a big thing. Can they pick up this 3rd down here to keep this drive alive?
The inactive Corbett on the sideline, hoping to play next week, as are all of the Jets. Winner of this game will play either in New England or Pittsburgh. 3rd down and 6. And Pennington throws, and it's caught by Chris Baker, but he gets whacked by Clinton Hart, the guy who came in for the injured Terrence Keel, and it's 4th down, and here comes the Jet punting group.
Yeah, very good defense. So what they do is the Chargers come on a blitz. Now that makes Pennington get rid of the ball quickly, and then when he has to get rid of it quickly, it's to the short guy, and then they tackle him, and they don't get the 1st down.
Toby going.
That's what I hate about that hot receiver stuff. You know, they come on a blitz, and you go to the hot receiver, and he's too short for the 1st down.
Going with an angle kick. Fair catch called for and made by Eric Parker at the 12-yard line. And that's where Brees and company go to work with 2:51 remaining in the first quarter in San Diego. Jets nothing, Chargers nothing. Earlier today, the Rams advanced. 27-20. Cam Cleveland caught the winning touchdown pass. He's been with them 2 years, has caught no touchdown passes in the regular season, and then gets a huge one today. From the 12-yard line, San Diego on 1st down. LaDainian Tomlinson puts the shoulder down and picks up 8 to the 20. Let's take a look at the Jet defense.
Sean Elliott, Tennessee.
Dwayne Robinson, University of Kentucky. Jason Ferguson, UGA.
Brian Thomas, UAB.
Mark Brown, 2005 National Champions, Auburn Tigers.
Jonathan Vilma, University of Miami.
Eric Barton, Eastside Dublin.
Donnie Abraham, East Tennessee State.
Reggie Tongue, Oregon State.
Eric Coleman, Washington State University.
David Barrett, University of Arkansas.
Major shtick. 2nd and 2 from the 20-yard line. Here's Tomlinson up to the 25-yard line. John, for Tomlinson, this is kind of a coming out party of sorts. I mean, people who watch the game, who know the game, but don't get a chance to watch the Chargers that much because they haven't played particularly well over the years and haven't been on a lot of nationally televised games, will all of a sudden begin to know a lot about this guy.
Yeah, and he's one of those backs that can do it all. I mean, last year he caught 100 passes. You know, he's as good a runner as there is. He's a very tough guy, a good blocker, and I don't know that if I had to pick a running back in the NFL that I wouldn't pick LaDainian Tomlinson.
Jets moving around defensively, and Brees changing the play, and it lines up as a pass to the right side, and it's caught out there by Eric Parker, and Parker is close to a 1st down. And when you look at Tomlinson, if he looks a little different, and you're used to seeing him play, it's because of the visor. He wears that dark visor, but tonight because of the rain gives him a problem. He doesn't have it on.
Yeah, he said that's the only time that he can't wear that visor, and it is an adjustment. Talked to him about it the other night, and he said that it happened once earlier in the season against Denver. It rained, so he didn't have the visor on.
Final minute of the opening period. 2nd down and 1. Brees has started the game 4 for 4 for 36 yards. And then they give it to the fullback, and that's Lorenzo Neal, who's one of the best in the league at leading the way. Carries the ball very occasionally. First down. Talked about the triplets for San Diego. Brees, third highest pass rating in the league. Tomlinson setting a single season record, 12 consecutive games with a rushing touchdown. And Gates coming out of nowhere, an NFL record for a tight end, 13 touchdown catches. From the 37-yard line. Tomlinson swinging to the outside. Nothing develops for him, and he's pushed out of bounds there by Donnie Abraham, and a flag is down.
You know, that's the thing that this offensive line for the Chargers, Al, has done such a great job.
Offense number 70, 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
You know, you mentioned Hudson Hawk and the coaching this group. 5 new starters and 2 of them are rookies. I'll tell you, you watch this group on film. I mean, there's just a penalty the first time you start to talk about them on one of the rookies. That's Shane Olivier. But the job that they've done of pass protecting for Drew Brees and of run blocking for LaDainian Tomlinson has been excellent.
And it's not like they're heralded rookies. Olivier, a 7th-round pick, and Hardwick, a 3rd-rounder.
You know what happened to Olivier? He was going to be a higher pick, and he hurt his shoulder working out. I think it was a combine workout and lifting weights.
Worked out well for San Diego. That's the end of the quarter. Jets nothing, Chargers nothing, and this wild card game continues after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Tonight, Al Michaels, John Madden, and Michelle Tafoya. Starting in the second quarter, Herm Edwards, Marty Schottenheimer left and right, and away we go in period number 2 with no score. It is 1st and 20 following the penalty that ended the first quarter. Drew Brees at the 27-yard line.
It's interesting here. The Jets are coming out on first down and using 5 defensive backs.
And it's Tomlinson taking it. Drew Brees, a great story, and if you follow football, you know it. He's picked in the 2nd round, 2001 out of Purdue, ascends to the starting job, then loses it last year, and then they, of course, on draft day, draft Eli Manning. He says, don't bother drafting me, but they do, and they effect a trade with the Giants, and they wind up drafting the man on the right, Phillip Rivers, and there was Doug Flutie that he's talking to, and it looked like Rivers would be maybe the guy who would start on opening day, but he signs late. Brees took it as a tremendous challenge, and Rivers didn't get into a game this season until last week when they deactivated Brees just to keep him healthy. 2nd and 14. He swings it out to the tight end, Justin Peel, who makes his 2nd catch to the 43. So here's a franchise, John, that looks like it's in disarray. 4-12 last year. They don't know what kind of talent they have. They know there's Tomlinson, and there is A.J. Smith, the unheralded general manager, who worked under the late John Butler for a lot of years, and Smith went out and made some tremendous trades with guys who weren't big names, had a great draft, and he and Schottenheimer got on the same page, and here they are 12-4.
You know, and you look at them both offensively and defensively, they're not as good as the New England Patriots, but the team makeup reminds me a little of the Patriots. And they have guys that they plug in here, they plug in there, use a lot of guys, role players.
Tomlinson started to slip on a draw. Good call on 3rd down here by Cam Cameron, sending down the play. The offensive coordinator, and Jonathan Vilma, the great rookie middle linebacker, makes the tackle for New York.
I think that was Drew Brees'. I think he audibleizes on this play. In fact, you can see him change it there. Usually they count, and if they have the count, if they have fewer guys in the box up front, they'll run the draw. If they have the box loaded or more players and you can block up front, then they audible to a pass.
Flag thrown.
I was just going to say, I would think that play was probably a passing play.
Full start offense, number 72. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Saw that he had the advantage of the running play and then made an audible to go to the draw.
Agreed. Sometimes it's that false audible call, but not in that particular case. Cameron sent out a good play anyway. They just didn't run it.
Or he could have sent down 2 plays.
Right.
You know, I mean, that's the way the Colts do it. They give Peyton Manning 2 or 3 plays, and he just picks the best of the 3.
1st and 15. And here's Tomlinson. to the 46, and let's check in with Michelle.
Well, Al, you were talking about A.J. Smith, the GM of this team. Having spent most of the week here, I got a good chance to talk with him, as well as team president Dean Spanos. Now, neither one would confirm exactly what's going to happen with Drew Brees. He becomes an unrestricted free agent at the end of the season. But in all my conversations, it's hard to believe that they wouldn't franchise him for $9 million. They've got $21 million under the cap to use. $9 million would count against that. They'll see if he can repeat this year, next year, and then who knows, Al?
Yeah, they're in very good shape in terms of the salary cap. Second down and 12. And again, Parker catches it, begins to slip, but maintains his footing and is very close to a first down at the New York 42-yard line.
And the Chargers really haven't gotten started until now, but it starts off again. The couple times that they have thrown the ball, they have very good pass protection. And we talked about this offensive line and the blocking they do for Tomlinson, but look at the blocking for Drew Brees. He could step back there in that pocket, look, find his guy, step up and throw it to him.
Brees, 6 for his first 6 for 57 yards. Ball at the 42-yard line. Fake draw and a roll. And then out in the flat, it's caught here by Justin Peele. Again, Peele made only 10 catches during the regular season. He already has 3 tonight, and that's Donnie Abraham making the tackle as they're paying a lot of attention to the other tight end, Gates, and that frees Peele up on a 2 tight end set.
You see Finotti pull out there, a big 350-pound left guard. I think anytime you see this right, I saw him the other night in practice, and he's the biggest guy I've ever seen in my life. Look at him coming here. I mean, just look at that load coming, and here you have to get up. I mean, he just kind of tapped him, and your knees start to buckle.
They list him at 6'4" and 350. Injury timeout. No score. Lemma in a way for the Jets, and situation for himself, as after the injury to Peele and he walked off the field on 2nd and 5. Here's Tomlinson swinging to the outside, finds room around the corner, and Eric Coleman makes the tackle. With a guy like Abraham, they can really use him. He's a Pro Bowl player, John. The question now becomes, he can be a free agent. He can get a lot of money. If he plays on a bad knee and he hurts himself, he costs himself millions of dollars.
And that's what I hate about this. You know, the free agency brings us about. I mean, the Jets need John Abraham. I mean, he's a dominant player and a dominant player in their defense now, but he's going to be a free agent. So does he risk, playing and making that injury worse and not getting much? That whole thing, I just hate it.
I agree.
It just takes away from the game, but it is the game.
Peele back in the game. Tomlinson with a 4-yard gain. And Michelle, you talked to Abraham. What did he have to say?
Yeah, Al, it was right after he practiced on Wednesday. He said he legitimately felt good and he didn't want to rush back. He had prepared himself to play, but he said exactly what you're talking about. He had to think about himself. He didn't want to worsen the knee and force himself into a longer-term injury that might require surgery in the offseason. A very important offseason for him.
Once the dollars got to be as big as they are, not only does it affect players who are currently in the league, as Brees is going to go for 6 and open there and making the catch, but out of bounds was Keenan McCardell. The back judge comes over. There'll be a conference here, and what he's basically saying is that he didn't have control of it with both feet in bounds.
It looked like they were going to change it. It looked like they said no. Then it looked like they said yes. He has the ball. That second foot hits. He keeps control. He has to keep control all the way to the ground, which he does. This is a touchdown. 1, 2, control of the ball. Yeah.
And the Chargers, they put it up on the board, and that's the reason you hear 70,000 people screaming. And the flag, the challenge flag from Schottenheimer comes out. There was a conference amongst the 2 officials, and they may not even have to challenge.
No, they will. That it was an incomplete pass.
I said maybe they wouldn't challenge only because when one official came over with the other, he could have overruled him. Keenan McCardell, another of A.J. Smith's great pickups, was under contract to Tampa Bay, didn't report. They get him, and when we come back after the review, it'll probably be a touchdown. Give us the call in a second. It was ruled a bobble. Clearly his feet are in bounds on this. Here comes Hockley.
The receiver pulled the ball into his chest, and when he had it in his chest in control, both feet were down. It's a touchdown.
As we suggested, 26 yards and the touchdown. The back judge from his angle, and you can see him on the replay coming in, Scott Helverson. It's not a question of him calling it incomplete because of his feet. It's a question about does he have control of it. And from Helverson's angle, the back judge, and you'll see him come in from the bottom of the screen. It looks like McCardell is bobbling it, but he's not.
McCardell runs a perfect corner pattern. David Barrett was a corner. He was a short guy. He doesn't get up or bump. Eric Coleman is a free safety, 26. He doesn't get over. So that's a zone, and they kind of hit the corner route between the corner and the safety.
Kading for the extra point. So on a third down play, Brees, who is 8 for 8 for 88 yards, makes it 7-0 San Diego.
It's on.
Chargers go 88 yards on that drive and withstand 2 penalties against them as well. Take the lead. Kading to kick off here with 9:26 remaining in the half. 11-yard line, Jericho Cotchery. The rookie from North Carolina State up to the 32. First down there. Here's Michelle.
Well, you're looking at Terrence Keel, the Chargers' strong safety. He's riding a bike behind the bench here on the Chargers sideline. Remember, he got injured in the first quarter, Al. He trotted off. They took him to the locker room for a while to look at that left knee. He just told me he's fine. Still doesn't know if he's going to make it back in, but he's certainly going to try, Al.
And again, it's Clinton Hart who replaces him in the secondary. They're already minus Sammy Davis, who was deactivated. And now the Jets from the 32-yard line. The Jets have had 2 drives. They picked up 103 yards, so they keep nibbling. But there's no protein, no points on the board, like last week in the first half. Martin to the outside, taken down by Lieber. Chargers, despite being 31st in pass defense, and we can crunch those numbers for you later, they were 3rd in run defense. Wade Phillips was brought in, formerly the head coach at Denver, then at Buffalo, interim head coach in Atlanta. Terrific defensive coordinator and really worked his magic this year, John.
Well, you know, he's a guy that has seen every situation. I mean, when you come out with an offense or a play or a down and distance, Wade Phillips has been there. He uses his 3-man line. He knows it as well as anyone and can adjust it as well as anyone.
Jets spread it out. That's Martin wide left. And over the middle, a pass to Santana Moss. And he hauls it in and gets the ball across the 50 to the 48-yard line where Clinton Hart makes the tackle, a 19-yard gain.
Did you see on that formation they had both Curtis Martin and Lamont Jordan in there? And this is the thing that Herm Edwards is trying to do. He's trying to get more explosive players so that if he makes a play there, like Santana Moss there, if he catches a ball there, maybe someone can take one and break it for a big play.
And now the Chargers have a problem because that's Clinton Hart who's replaced the injured Terrence Keel. So you got 2 safeties right now.
And you know the other problem that gives you with the 2 safeties is those are the guys that play nickel and dime for you.
Injury timeout. Titans face the Los Angeles Chargers, and here's how it all started. This was a preseason game at the LA Coliseum before 27,000. There was the Titans opening kickoff. That was Paul Lowe, and here is the way the AFL began for these 2 franchises. Lowe took it 105 yards for a touchdown. He held the team rushing record through the years. And look at that, a baseball infield. That's the LA Coliseum. The Dodgers were playing there at that point. Dodger Stadium was under construction. John, the team, you think about the Chargers, they were founded by Baron Hilton of the Hilton Hotel family, who was famed for being a hotel executive and one of the founders of the AFL. And now he is better known as Paris Hilton's paternal grandfather. That's where we've come in 45 years.
Well, where were you during that play?
I was at that game.
That is amazing. When it all started, you were there.
Unbelievable. And the Titans, owned by Harry Wismer at the time. And here they are 45 years later as Clinton Hart is going to be assisted back to the locker room. But you've got the Jets and the Chargers, and this is the first time they have ever met in a postseason game. 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. Pennington, play fake, and they're going to test that secondary. So right off the bat, with the 2 safeties out, they send McCarron's deep. They have Rob Butler, a rookie from Robert Morris, at safety, and Drayton Florence, the corner with the double coverage.
You know, and I was talking earlier how, you know, Clinton Hart comes out and he was in for Terrence Keel, but he was also the dime back. So now they've lost two guys that play in their dime. So when they get in that 3rd and long, you know, or even 2nd and long, like this situation here, I think the Jets can have an advantage.
2nd down and 10 at the 49-yard line to the ground again. This is Martin, and he goes for a yard, maybe 2. Jacques Césaire out of Southern Connecticut State makes the tackle.
And I don't know that that's the advantage that that the Jets should be taking, is just running straight up the middle. I think when those safeties are out, I think you have some passing advantages inside.
3rd and 9, halfway through the 2nd quarter. $70,000 Towel Wave fans imploring their defense, and they get rewarded with a sack by Steve Foley. Steve Foley, one of those pickups in the offseason, had 10 sacks, and Sean Phillips, a rookie out of Purdue, bookend him.
Yeah, we talk about a 3-man line, and then when you get in 3rd down, you take one of your linebackers and you make him a defensive end or a rush man, and that guy is Steve Foley. And he was a right defensive end coming from the right defensive side.
Now on 4th down, Toby Goen, the Jets' 4th punter in 4 years, gets off a good one here, fielded at the 11-yard line by Eric Parker. And he brings it back up to the 24, and there's a penalty flag down way upfield at the 43-yard line of San Diego.
You know, we have here either very good Charger 3rd down defense or very bad Jet 3rd down offense.
Or some combination thereof.
When the Jets will move the ball, then they get, you know, they can't handle that 3rd down. Of course, a lot of that is brought about by 1st and 2nd down. I mean, they had 2nd and long, and they just ran the ball right in there, and then they end up with 3rd and long, and then Foley comes and gets a sack.
Receiving team number 95. It's a 10-yard penalty enforced from the end of the run. San Diego keeps the ball, 1st down.
That's Sean Phillips, who was in on the sack on the prior play. 6:36 to the half. San Diego 7 and the New York Jets nothing. Obviously hoping to get there, and they're among 11 left. Started with 12. Seattle's gone. St. Louis beat them 27-20 earlier today. From the 14-yard line on 1st down, Drew Brees under pressure, and coming through the middle is Jonathan Vilma, a guy we're just getting ready to talk about, John, the defensive rookie of the year in the NFL.
Yeah, and he's a big play guy. I mean, he has that speed and the quickness, and you know that he can play the run from sideline to sideline. Here he comes on a blitz. He delays just a little to let that guard turn out, and then he just hits that gap. LaDainian Tomlinson, I was just going to say, he said he's so tough to read because he's good at slipping blocks. He looks like he's blocked, then he slips it and comes off and makes a tackle on it.
1st-round pick out of the University of Miami. Now Tomlinson gets most of that sack yardage back, and we go to Michelle.
Well, I spent some time with Jonathan Vilma here this week or over the phone. And even when he came into town, I got to sit down with him. I'm impressed by this guy, you guys. He's just 22 years old, feet solidly planted on the ground. And he is all about football. He said about 80% of his waking hours are spent on football, at home, watching film, at the facility. When I asked him about the award you just mentioned, he said, I don't have time. It would be pointless to think about it. It would only be a distraction. He meant it, Al.
Well, he and Eric Coleman, 2 rookies, called the defensive signals for Donnie Henderson in his first year as the defensive coordinator. 3rd down and 12, and Drew Brees is going to air it out into good coverage, and the pass is well defended by David Barrett, intended for Parker, and it's 3 and out, and that is the first incomplete pass thrown by Brees tonight.
You know, the other linebacker down there at the University of Miami last year with Vilma was DJ Williams. You know, another #1 draft choice, a linebacker, Denver Broncos. So you think of Miami's defense, they had some good linebackers, didn't they?
Kind of the new Penn State. Mike Cyphers to punt. Santana Moss is back there. Good rush put on that time. And John McGraw then bangs into the punter, and it's fair caught up at the 48-yard line by Santana Moss, and there's a flag down back at the 19-yard line. So Cypher's got whacked.
And there's a Charger coach out in the field. I think that's a penalty, and the coach is still out there. I mean, the thing that he was yelling about is the punter was roughed.
So Marty Schottenheimer is out there. Take a look at this. If you get part of the ball, it's all good.
There was no contact with the punter. He went down on his own. Therefore, there was no running into the kicker call. Unsportsmanlike conduct on the San Diego bench. It's a 15-yard penalty enforced.
That's what I thought.
End of the play. First down.
When I saw that flag come down, it was on Marty Schottenheimer for going out on the field because it wasn't thrown by the referee that was next to the punter. And Marty was about out to the numbers on the field there for a while.
Now, if the ball is touched by a rush man on a punt, then anything goes at that point. But what Hockley is saying is that there was no contact at all with the punter.
Right, and there was no flag on that play. That flag, again, was on the coach being on the field.
Here's McGraw coming in, yeah?
And he said that he didn't go down by any contact. He went down by himself.
And if you're Schottenheimer and put yourself at his angle on the sideline there, that would look for all the world like running into the kicker. So he comes out onto the field. The penalty, the double whammy now, takes him to the 37-yard line, and so the Jets start at that spot.
Right, and this is a great opportunity for the Jets. I mean, and they've had pretty good field position, and you know, we talked how they moved the ball and they moved it running and passing, but they just can't put things together where they can get it in and score. That's what the Jets need right here now. They need a drive that ends up with a score, and the score I'm talking about a touchdown.
From the 37-yard line, and now you've got action along the line and a false start, so the Jets begin this most opportune drive with a penalty.
False start, offense, number 67, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Kareem McKenzie. So the penalty called on Schottenheimer. You saw Marty's record in postseason, and that's been his albatross. A lot of success through the years, but he's never been to the Super Bowl. And when you get to the playoffs for 11 years and you have 11 losses, the math is simple. That means you never won the last game.
You know, and that's a big thing about the playoffs. I mean, 12 teams are in the playoffs, 11 of them will lose their last game. And that's when you remember the entire offseason.
Martin on a draw to the 36. Schottenheimer, and he has had some unbelievably agonizing losses. He's been so close. The Elway drive, the Biner fumble. And there it is in the major North American pro sports, highest regular season winning percentage without reaching the championship round. Dennis Green will be next, and then Don Nelson, 27 years in the NBA but never to the finals. Don Coryell, a god here in San Diego, is on that list. Second down and 9 from the 37. Pressure on Pennington. Wheels away from a sack and then throws the ball away. And if he's out of the pocket, he can throw it anywhere. That was Donnie Edwards with the near sack.
I tell you, Edwards comes, and that's the thing. Pennington makes a good play just getting away from this, because you're going to see Donnie Edwards. He's going to come from the far side right here. He comes as a free rusher. Pennington feels it, just spins out of that play. Then, as you say, by getting out of the pocket, he can throw the ball away legally. Donnie Edwards should have had that sack.
Edwards played for Schottenheimer in Kansas City, then comes home. Grew up in this area, third down and 9. 3 receivers to the left. Pennington looks that way, goes that way, and hits McCarron's over the middle. He gets free, and he has a first down at the 14-yard line. Justin McCarron's.
Yeah, it all started off with a good pass protection for Pennington. And McCarron's on that time ran that in that he had run earlier, but he ran a better pattern. I mean, he got a little more separation. You see the protection? Here, Chad Pennington can step up and make a perfect throw here. McCarron's comes now. He gets his separation and runs away from it. The last time he started to get separation and didn't run away from the defender.
Ran away from Drayton Florence, and it's a 21-yard gain and a first down at the 15. Under 4 to play in the half. Pennington sets up in the pocket and then throws, caught at the 13-yard line by Curtis Martin for a gain of a couple. Donnie Edwards. Pennington reminds me, there's Brett Favre, who's a fastball pitcher, and Pennington throws a lot of change-ups.
Yeah, he does throw change-ups, and sometimes it look like a knuckleball, but he said that was one of the problems. He said he was trying to do too many things. He said he tried to make a couple throws in the last few weeks that Brett Favre couldn't make.
Second down and 8 at the 13-yard line. Pennington is 10 of 15, 103 yards, picking and poking, and occasionally going downfield. Swings it out to the outside here, and that's caught by Anthony Beck, who waltzes in to the end zone for a touchdown. 13 yards to the tight end.
And I think Chad Pennington made an audible there, too. Did you see the whole defense was packed in there? So I think that was one of those things that could have been a run, and there was no place at all. And then he just comes back and he throws the ball out there to Anthony Beck. Watch Anthony Beck here. You see he's going to come in, and you see how tight they are in there? Anthony Beck was on the outside. He just runs a short out, and there's no defender out there.
Doug Bryan for the point after, and boy, that was close, just good. Missed a 33-yard field goal earlier, so 37 yards after the penalty on Schottenheimer. Jets pay off with a touchdown, and we're tied at 7-7 with 2:54 to the half.
The hot receiver is Anthony Beck. You're going to see him right here. When the blitz and the pressure comes, Beck just comes up and runs a short out here. You see the pressure? Here comes the blitz from that side. Beck is just going to come out here, look, and there's no one out there. He gets a little help on a pick. The defender falls down. He walks in.
Beck had one touchdown during the regular season. To this point, the San Diego tight end, the Pro Bowl-bound Gates, one of the big stories of the year, has been pretty quiet. One catch for 3 yards, and the other tight end has just tied the game.
Yeah, and I said earlier that I didn't like that hot receiver stuff because you throw short and they make the tackle. I like the hot receiver on that.
Yeah. Tim Dwight, 4-yard line. And Tim Dwight, former Falcon, up to the 28-yard line, and that's where Drew Brees and company go to work. Speaking of Drew Brees,
25 yards on the return. Hey, I'm going to be the best at whatever I set out to be. I'm a quarterback in the NFL. I want to be the best quarterback in the NFL. I want to win championships. So how am I going to do that? And, you kind of sit down and you set a plan for myself, for the off season, what I would do physically, what I would do, mentally to prepare myself, setting goals, objectives, and then meeting those.
And he comes up in the shotgun here and begins with a pass, not even close to being complete. Keenan McCardell, I think, was the intended receiver, but he was a good 7 or 8 yards away. There is Brittany right in the middle there. Drew's wife, and what a ride for Brees. He comes in, and I remember the Charger quarterback situation. You go back, they had Jack Kemp and John Hadel and Dan Fouts, of course, the great one, and then it was a mess. The Ryan Leaf disaster. They traded away what would have been the draft rights for Michael Vick, and they have Brees and Rivers. But Brees a fabulous year and throws here on second down, caught by McCardell. It'll be 3rd and 1.
Yeah, don't you feel that he's playing with a chip on his shoulder? Even that soundbite there, when you saw him talking, you could tell that he's still upset about that. That thing when they said they needed a quarterback, they went out and got one in a draft. He said he was mad for a couple days, and then he said, I'm a competitor. That's what I do. I don't get mad and sulk and pout. I go out and work harder and do something about it.
3rd down and 1 as we approach the 2-minute warning. Tomlinson, a little patience there, pays off, picks up the first down as we tick down to 2 minutes. 2-minute warning, ball at the 40-yard line. Wild card game in San Diego, tied 7-7. Vance They'll go to Philadelphia or Atlanta. First NFL team to win a playoff game after finishing at 500 or worse. And for the Seahawks, it's another decade without a playoff win, making 20 years.
Somewhere you think the Chargers on this drive are going to have to start getting Antonio Gates involved.
He's caught only one ball, and Brees is going to pack it himself, and a flag comes in at the end of the play at the 45-yard line.
We'll say this: if they get a drive here, the closer to the goal line they get, the more Antonio Gates is going to get involved. I mean, he has 13 touchdowns this year.
Offense number 79, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat first down.
That's Mike Goff.
He's one of the guys that Marty really liked. You know, we talk about a whole new offensive line, and you know, the two veterans they had. One is Robin Oben, the left tackle. The other one is Mike Goff right there. And he said that those guys are kind of the glue that brings this whole offensive line together.
None of the five played a single down as a San Diego Charger last year. Two rookies, a couple of guys in free agency. Finoti was on injured reserve. As Brees throws, got good velocity on that and right into the arms of Eric Parker, but there's another flag down across the field, 50 yards away from the reception, laterally.
Eric Parker, not the biggest of guys. He only weighs about 175 pounds, and Marty Schottenheimer was talking yesterday about how tough he is, that he wanted to institute to see who starts the old challenge system. He said, what do you mean challenge? He said, well, we'll wrestle. We'll wrestle for it. See who starts. And he said he probably would. He would take on anyone in the team in wrestling. There was a time in college football where they had that. You know, that you would challenge the guy in front if you wanted to start.
Defense, number 46. The penalty is declined. Brings up second down. Correction, 36.
That's
36.
David Barrett. That's completely away from the play. So they had a choice of accepting the penalty and making it 1st and 15, or declining it to make it 2nd and 1. So it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, this is a play caller's dream. 2nd and 1. Any play that you call in this situation is usually a great call.
Out of the shotgun. Brees. And he finds over the middle Antonio Gates, and you knew, as John said, sooner or later Gates was going to emerge. 15 yards and a first down at the Jet 37 in San Diego with all of its timeouts, and choose to use their first one here. Chargers.
Gates, and that's his second pass to caught. The other guy, Tomlinson, has yet to catch a pass.
1st and 10, ball at the 37-yard line. And no sooner do you say it, and Tomlinson was late in looking back, stayed in and flared out. Eric Barton with the coverage there, and Tomlinson turning around a little bit late.
You know, and one thing that Antonio Gates is going to have to learn is as you start to catch more passes, you start to score touchdowns, you're going to be double covered. You see they have a linebacker out there, and then they have a safety behind him. So he has to beat the linebacker at the line of scrimmage and then get up the field and work on the safety.
2nd down and 10. Justin Peele, the tight end of the backfield, and now joined by Tomlinson off the fake draw. Brees sets up nicely, throws into a lot of traffic, and intercepted off the deflection by Reggie Tongue. And Reggie Tongue, with some blocking, brings it up to the 44-yard line, and Drew Brees, looking like a linebacker with all of that frustration pent up, bangs him to the grass.
You know, that's why the old rule always is on an interception, the first guy you go after is a quarterback, because he's going to be the most upset guy, and he's going to be the guy that's going to go for the tackle like Drew Brees just did. Either that or he's going to go hide. That was thrown a little behind McCardell. And that was a tip. Reggie Tongue comes up with it, looks back, and watch what Drew Brees does. He darn near gave him a helmet-to-helmet shot, didn't he?
I thought he did.
He looks like John Lynch.
Oh, yeah. That could have been called. Tongue gets the pick. Eric Coleman was the man who deflected it. Pass intended from McCardell. The ball is at the 44. The Jets have all of their timeouts with 1:26 to the half. And they begin on the ground with Martin, who slides to the outside, gets into Charger territory, forced out by Jammer. And they're across the 50 with 1:19 to the half.
You talk about a coach who's upset. How about Marty Schottenheimer? He in essence gave the Jets good field position, with his 15-yard penalty. Then the Jets went in and they go and they score. So now he's hoping, let's get that 7 back that I just helped give away. And lo and behold, he has an interception.
2nd and 2, Chargers tough, as you saw at the end of either half throughout the season. Pennington throwing off his back foot, and that one is it picked off or incomplete? The umpire right there, and he's looking for help. So now there'll be a head linesman umpire conference, and the interception is the call. Hockley comes in. Clinton Hart, for the moment anyway, pending any review, will come up with the interception. And again, it's inside 2 minutes. It's inside 2, so this has to be initiated and judged from upstairs.
Oh, that ball is on the ground, but you see that was that hot receiver. Here comes the blitz. The free man is coming. Now, it looks like Chad Pennington, I was just going to say, it looks like Chad Pennington felt a little more pressure than he really had. I mean, he went up and threw that a little quicker than he had to, and he kind of did a jump thing that he didn't have to do.
But you see the ball on the ground, and they'll review it upstairs, and it looks like this one will not be ruled a pick, at least from that first glance. Back in a moment. You look, but it's pretty clear the ball is on the ground. And so when they come back, and we assume it's going to be the Jets' ball again, Pennington with the helmet on, it's going to be a very critical 3rd down and 2 coming up at the San Diego 48-yard line.
The ball hit the ground. The pass was incomplete. Please reset the clock to 1:18. 1:18 of the clock. It's 3rd down and 2 yards on the 48-yard line.
Now, usually on these 3rd down situations, Wade Phillips, the defensive coordinator of the Chargers, has been bringing that blitz and making Chad Pennington throw hot. But if it's 3rd and 2, he really can't do that because that would play right into his hands. So I think the Chargers will play more of a coverage defense, and they won't give him that 3rd down blitz.
Do the Jets run Martin here?
I don't know. I'm seeing that they're moving the ball back, though. I mean, if it's 3rd and 2, yes, I would run Martin there.
At the 48-yard line, there is Curtis in the game. Beck sets up a tight end on the right side.
If they spread out, this could be a draw situation for the Jets.
Martin, 8 carries to 35 yards. Big play. That's what it is, and San Diego is equal to the task. John talking about the draw. Jamal Williams, that big moose in the middle at 348 pounds, makes the tackle.
And that's a guy that you have to get blocked. And you see the formation. See, they spread him out, and they're looking to see if they can get a draw in there. But the fact that the linebacker stays probably means that you're not going to get it, but you better get this big guy blocked right here. And they don't do that. And Jamal Williams isn't a big pass rusher type of guy. He's going to stay around and control that line of scrimmage anyway.
Toby Goins' 3rd punt of the night coming. Parker is back to accept it. Going to let it bounce, and the question is, yep, he saved it from going into the end zone. Jericho Cotchery with his speed, and with all of their timeouts, the New York Jets have pinned San Diego inside the 2-yard line, and they can use their timeouts defensively and still get the ball back.
Watch Cotchery right there. He stepped out of bounds. Now, he can't be the first guy to come in and touch the ball. He can't do that. He can come back in the field, but he can't step out of bounds and come in from out of bounds and be the first guy to touch the ball. See him out of bounds? Then he comes in and touches it there.
We are reviewing the ruling
Absolutely.
on the field.
That's what I was just going to say. John talking about you can't be the first guy back. You've got Mike Pereira, the head of officials here, so everybody on their very best behavior upstairs in the review booth, and they don't want to blow a big one. But when they see this, that is a reviewable call. If Contrary had stepped out of bounds, and they will see that, he can't be the first guy back in. So the end result of this review will be a touchback in all likelihood. And San Diego will have the ball at the 20-yard line, and they have 2 timeouts. So forget about the Jets pinning San Diego deep and using all 3.
Who was the first to touch the ball had been out of bounds, which is a foul for illegal touching and would be a foul 5 yards from the previous spot. I'm going to check with the coach to determine whether that penalty will be accepted.
Well, Hockley, he meant New York player 89.
Number 89 is accepted. The 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat 4th down.
Well, that's an interesting call here. They're going to make it. They're going to make them punt again, which was Schottenheimer's choice. Earlier, Bryan missed a 33-yard field goal. Pennington with 116 passing yards here, and the touchdown to Beck. And Brees' numbers are right there. He has 1 touchdown and 1 interception. The touchdown right there, Keenan McCardell. Then there was that unsportsmanlike conduct call on Schottenheimer, who thought there was running into the kicker. There he is, and clearly, you know, they'll give you some latitude, but not when you're at the 15-yard line and you're 10 yards out onto the field.
Now, I'm surprised that they turned down that penalty, because the Chargers would have had the ball on the 20, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm confused about, because and they're still conferring, because you would think Schottenheimer would take the ball at the 20 instead of making the Jets come back and kick.
The only way this would make sense, and it doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but is if you said, I want them to punt again because I see something in their coverage where we can get a block and you're going to come on a punt block. That's the only way that would make any sense to me.
Just checking to confirm the spot that the ball should be placed.
It's an illegal touch. If he doesn't accept the penalty, now it's our understanding that they would have. It was explained to Schottenheimer, because of the rule interpretation, they would have had to take the ball to the 2-yard line. Now you can understand why. So it wouldn't have been an automatic touchback. And now Hockley is checking upstairs to see what the line of scrimmage should be.
You know, I mean that may be the rule, but I don't agree with it, because if the guy touches it illegal, then it went in the end zone. So if it goes in the end zone, it comes out to the 20. The ball did go in the end zone.
Whoever wrote the rule book must have figured, well, maybe you could take a backwards hop. I don't know. It's crazy, but Hockley was clearly on top of it. They reviewed it instead of letting it go because it was very close. So in the ultimate, they get it right. Only cost us about a half an hour, and away we go.
And Marty Schottenheimer did what he had to do.
Now going to punt again, and they almost block it. And Parker makes a fair catch as he's going out of bounds. And they get it where they would have gotten it had he let it go anyway. And that'll be at the 9-yard line. So after all that, we have 22 ticks. And we might look for a kneel down. But remember, the Jets have all of their timeouts. So if they choose to use them, San Diego will have to do a little bit more than kneel down. Otherwise, they're going to be forced to punt.
Right, and then you know that rule that a free kick after a fair catch. So the Jets could do that.
That's exactly what they could do.
Take all 3 timeouts and then make them punt, fair catch the punt, and have a free kick.
Have a free kick, and that would mean, in effect, no rush. And Bryan would be allowed to kick what would be an uncontested field goal. And Tomlinson goes down, and the Jets will take, or should take. And I don't know why they're not taking an immediate timeout.
You got to take it quickly and right now. You can't wait that long.
They wasted 5 seconds.
I mean, he ought to know that he's going to take it right after each play, or tell all his players, right after the play, just take a timeout.
I don't have to remind any Jet fan, this has been a season-long problem. Time management. The Curly, well, for the moment, listed as the time management coach. Senior offensive assistant. Not sure I'd want to be known as the time management coach of the New York Jets right now.
You know, everything has to go to the head coach. So I mean, this whole thing, and I talked a little about earlier of putting stuff off in the offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator, and you know, time management and so on. It really, if your name's on it, it's yours.
Yep.
And if it's yours, you make the decisions, and you make all time management decisions.
Well, they put 3 seconds back on the clock because it's now Ed Hockley's call to say it was actually called before the clock operator stopped the clock. And now Tomlinson to the 11-yard line, and again a timeout. So the Chargers now have to figure out a way, if they can, to burn 12 seconds, or they can have a couple of things in play here. You could block the kick, or again, you have that free kick situation. This is going to be very close if they run it here and stop it with about 9 seconds or 8 seconds, and by the time you kick it and fair catch it, you might be down under 0. But the thing is, if at the half ends, you can actually, when you look at that rule and parse it, and God, I'm going to law school. This is like crazy.
What are you,
John.
parsing?
Well, I'm parsing. Yeah, parsing is a...
Parsing rule.
You get into these situations. You can actually extend a period, the second period or the fourth period, by calling a fair catch, and you still get the free kick.
Right, you do, and then again, the free kick is no tee. It's your kicker with a 10-yard restraining line. The Chargers in that case would have to be 10 yards away.
We need a restraining order here, and there's Tomlinson, who may make it moot, and it appears he does. He's going to get the first down, and so much for the free kick or anything else. That's the way the half will end in San Diego at the end of the first half. And you got the boys back in New York with the Pro Bowl starters. Recap of this one, highlights of Seattle. Michael Strahan at halftime. John talking about the Jets should be pretty happy right now. They've kept the game close, and one thing we should point out, they held 7 opponents scoreless in the second half this year during the regular season, almost every other game.
Yeah, and I think early in the game they tried to come out and establish that we aren't just going to run the ball. Chad Pennington going to throw it, and they tried to get some mixture, but they didn't have the consistency. I think maybe in the second half they'll go back to just being who they are, and we're about running, and we're about Curtis Martin, and that's what we're going to do to you, and see if you can stop it.
Now, Marty Schottenheimer in the San Diego locker room and his staff, what were they talking about at the half?
Well, you know, the strength of their team was Drew Brees in the year that he had. LaDainian Tomlinson has to be a bigger part, both as a runner and a pass receiver. And they have to get a little closer and better field position. And then Antonio Gates has to be a big part of this. I mean, those are kind of, you know, we talk about the triplets, the 3 guys that help get him here. And when you get into this, the finality of it, the guys that got you there are the guys that are going to have to do it for you now.
Gates only caught 2 passes for 18. San Diego will get the ball. It's a fairly short kick that's muffed and then picked up by Tim Dwight, and San Diego fortunate to retain possession after Jesse Chapman couldn't hold on. Michelle.
Yeah, I talked to Marty Schottenheimer at halftime about getting penalized for being on the field when he thought his punter got roughed up. He stands by it. He says, not only did it look like my punter got roughed, Mike Cyphers, the player, told me he did. He completely showed no remorse, guys. Also for Herm Edwards, he said, we really took the crowd out of this. We got to keep it that way with a big defensive stop right out of the gate and scoring some points early. John, Al?
Right now they'll line up defensively against Drew Brees, who was 11 of 15 for 128. And they start with a reverse as Tomlinson hands the ball to Parker, coming around from the other side. And a lot of action, but not much yardage. 1 yard. Sean Ellis making the tackle. San Diego's triplets, here are their numbers. Brees, as we say, with 11 completions and 128. Tomlinson, relatively quiet 56 yards. He's on a 112-yard pace, but you know, just kind of a pedestrian 56. And McCardell with the 1 touchdown grab.
And I think Tomlinson has to have more touches. I mean, he's the big part of the offense. He's the star of this offense, and he needs to touch the ball more.
2nd and 10, and Brees throws to Antonio Gates. Gates kicks at Vilma. There's a flag, but it's back at the 21 and has nothing to do with the end of the play. Oculus crew very busy. He had 9 penalties between the two teams in the first half. In playoff football, in recent years, they've been averaging about 11 penalties a game total.
Yeah, I think historically that's always been true.
10-yard penalty, repeat second down.
In fact, I was talking, that's Olivier with the penalty. I was talking to Hockley about that before the game, and he was wondering, is it the fact that the teams are the better teams, or is it the referees put the flags away? Probably a little bit of a combination.
I think it's a combination of both. I mean the players do play at a higher level. They're in it. The game means so much. You don't get sloppy play. And then on the other hand, I still believe that officials want the game to be in the hands of players. They don't want to officiate a win or a loss.
And you get the better officials in postseason as well as the better teams. Second down and 20. From the 16 after the penalty on the right tackle. Three-man line, three-man rush. Brees steps up underneath. It's Tomlinson. LaDainian up to the 24-yard line, and LaDainian Tomlinson, who they throw to a lot, that's his first catch of the night.
And here's what they did to Antonio Gates. You see in the first half that they're very tight on him. There's John McGraw on him on any nickel situation. They're bringing John McGraw in. Otherwise, they're going to have a linebacker on him and a safety over the top. But I think he has enough talent to beat those things. I think the Chargers have to start moving him around a little more.
Put him in the slot here on third down and 13. Brees looks that way, then comes this way and winds up hitting Tomlinson out in the flat, and LaDainian gets up to the 32, but well short of the first down. So after not going to Tomlinson at all, they go to him back to back.
Yeah, and then here they were trying to go to Antonio Gates before he comes off to Tomlinson. And you see here, Gates doesn't have great speed. I mean, he doesn't have great quickness. He's just a big guy who can use basketball moves, and to me, he's better the closer you get to the goal line. Out in the middle of the field like that, he doesn't look like anything special.
Chargers a stuttering start to the second half. Mike Cyphers to punt. A little low on the snap, but he gets it away. High kick, fair catch called for, made by Moss at the 25-yard line. 2 minutes into the third period in San Diego in this AFC wildcard game. 7-7, the Jets and the Chargers. Anchoring that line, but there's the shoe off, and they work on his ankle on the San Diego sideline.
It was just Dwayne Robertson just gave him a big push, pushed him so hard his ankle just collapsed.
Now from the 25 on first down, Pennington throws into traffic and threads it right into the arms of Justin McCarron for an 11-yard gain and a New York first down.
Now you watch Chad Pennington, and the minute you start to think, well, that shoulder's bothering him, he really can't do it, he comes back, boom, just puts one in there. And then you think, well, he's playing through the pain. We know that he's not okay, and he's playing through the pain, and then he'll throw it back.
Hitting 67%, which is what he normally does, about 2/3 of his passes. Martin runs into his own man and then turns nothing into a little something up to the 40-yard line for a gain of about 4.
Yeah, do you see why he ran into his own man? Because Jamal Williams, the big nose tackle, stuffed his own man. And that's, we always talk about this three-man line, control the nose tackle. Watch what this nose tackle does. I mean, you get a big guy like that, he just takes Kevin Mawai and he puts him right back in the backfield, right into Curtis Martin.
Second down and 6 from the 40-yard line. A toss play. Nice nifty running there by Martin, finally taken down by Edwards. It'll be third and about 3.
Yeah, Curtis Martin had to do that then because Jamal Williams again gets penetration. But he's going to get in here. But Curtis Martin, he feels it, and he's able to run around it. You see the penetration there? Curtis Martin there knew it, and he just beat Jamal Williams in the backfield. But still, Jamal Williams did his job.
Third down, short 3.
This will be a pass this time.
Short drop, and the pass to McCarron is caught. Again, he was draped by Drayton Florence, and Pennington got it right there, and McCarron makes the catch, and McCarron has been Pennington's go-to guy tonight. That's 6 catches.
And McCarron does a good job by getting inside of Florence and getting the position. You see, you got to get it right now. You see, when he gets inside there, he has the completion. And the thing is, Florence on the other side has to take away that inside and not let McCarron's get in there.
First down in San Diego territory at the 47-yard line. Fake draw. And Pennington going for 6. Deep down the field, and it's caught by Santana Moss for a touchdown. Quentin Jammer and Jerry Wilson were both there, and the pass is perfectly thrown. Moss makes the grab, 47 yards, and for the first time in the game, the Jets have the lead.
You know, I think the play-action pass even got Quentin Jammer a little. You're going to see him. He's looking in. And you see the play action. He looks back at the play action, lets Santana Moss get up upon him. Now, Santana Moss had that speed, and he's one of those guys, when he's even, he's leaving. And he throws the ball when he's even, and Santana Moss just runs right by two of them.
Third catch for Moss. Doug Bryan for the extra point. And so the Jets holding San Diego offensively, 3 and out for the Chargers, and then the Jets get the ball and go 75 yards in 2.5 minutes. Touchdown to Moss, and the Jets lead the Chargers by 7. And just what Michelle talked about, talking to Herm, saying we stop them defensively, come back, get a big play, and it's 14-7.
How about good play calling by Paul Hackett on that drive?
That's right.
If you're gonna take the criticism when things don't work, you have to get the credit when they do.
Much maligned, an overused term, as the kick is run back by Dwight, doesn't come close to describing how they've been treating Hackett lately. Take a look at this. Some of the Jets people I talked to about this before the game were stunned. At or behind the line, by the length of pass, you can see where Pennington is 8th. On the short passes, he finished 4th. Now, where you would think he would be great, 11 to 20 yards, look at that. He's last in the league. And then long, where everybody says he has no more arm strength and all of that stuff, he finished 1st in the league. In other words, if you're throwing to a target 21 or more yards beyond the line of scrimmage, and a lot of that was granted early in the season, but among the regular quarterbacks, he did wind up on top on those deep passes this season in pass rating.
It shows when he's healthy and right, he can do it.
And you could have won a lot of bets, because I talked to some of the Jets about that before the game, and they were shocked. Tomlinson makes that catch, but the defense is right there. And here it is. I mean, an example of what he was doing a lot of, especially earlier in the season.
I'll tell you, he made a perfect throw here. I mean, Santana Moss has about 2 steps there on Quentin Jammer, the corner who was covering him, and the safety who was getting over, and Pennington put it where the only guy that was going to catch it was Moss for the touchdown.
That little swing pass lost 6 yards. Hardwick was in for that play, and there he is bent over and out right now, and Bob Hallen is the center. 2nd and 16, and Brees swings it to the outside, and that's caught by Keenan McCardell for a short gain. It'll be 12 yards to go on 3rd down as we look at how Hardwick got hurt the first time.
Well, we talked about it. You'll see Dwayne Robertson is number 63, and you see him pushing and pushing. Now watch that left ankle. You see that left ankle just kind of collapses on him right here. See, it goes in the ground right there. See it? And that's what happens when you get a strong guy like Dwayne Robertson who just gets underneath your shoulder pads and is just pushing. Something has to give.
There he is, red-faced and all on the sideline in some pain. Was in for a play and now out. Allen, the ex-Falcon, is the man in the middle, and Brees throws, and that's caught. Now the question is, does forward progress, as Eric Parker, does he have the first down? He caught the ball, and they're going to put it right on the yellow line, which is a nice break for San Diego, and Hockley will call for the chain gang. But he caught the pass, then started back, tackled by Reggie Tongue, but appears to have enough for the first down.
You're going to see right here, and he has to again get up to the yellow line. They have a zone defense. He just runs, just figures where that is. He has a first down. I mean, as he starts to go away, he starts to come back a little. But he did, when he makes the catch, he has a first down. And then he comes back, and then he was hit. I would say that's going to be very, very close. In fact, it's not a first down.
Well, the yellow line is just a television tool. Has nothing to do with official. It's 4th down, a couple of inches. Of course, every crowd wants you to go for it on any fourth down at any point.
And this field position, this is tough. I mean, you know, as a coach, I know it looks like he's going to do it or try and draw him off sides. The play here would be a quarterback sneak or just try and draw the Jets offside.
Big gamble here. And they got the Jets to jump off. He got him. Dwayne Robertson. He got him to jump offside.
Yeah, and that's discipline. To me, that's the thing. You can't have that on defense. I mean, you have to know that's what they're doing.
Defense, number 63, 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
The number 1 pick last year, and the guy's really had a very good season.
And they always talk about discipline and, you know, and what is it? To me, this is what it is. You know, that when you get in these types of situations, you're going to get a hard count. You know it's going to, everyone has to remind each other, and you can't let that happen. Did he make up for it?
But Donnie Henderson was telling us how much he loves this guy. So he had a small annulment, and now they're back living together after that last play.
Yeah, and Robertson, we saw how strong he was against Nick Hardwick, and then we saw when he jumped off sides, and then that, yeah, I mean, you have pride, and you know that everyone sees this, and everyone thinks, oh, how dumb can that be? So then you better come back and make a big play on the next one. And that's a big play.
That's a 3-yard loss.
They had a play like that every down.
Check him out here on 2nd and 13. It figures to be a passing situation. Fake throw to control Robertson to the outside. The pass is caught. And then stepping out of bounds is Parker at the 44-yard line, about 2 yards short of a first down.
And again, that 2 yards, that goes back to that Robertson play on first down. If he doesn't throw Tomlinson for a loss, that pass would have been a first down pass.
Third down, it's a short 3 from the 43-yard line.
He tried to get him on a hard count, then didn't get him on the hard count and went to an audible.
Brees comes to the near side, and in traffic, it's incomplete, intended for Antonio Gates, and now the Chargers have to bring in the special teams.
That was good defense by the Jets. You know, Drew Brees saw something, made an audible, was going to throw to the left, and then it was covered. What he thought was going to be there wasn't there at all. You're going to see Eric Barton is number 50, and he's on Gates. And that's where he came second. He was looking to throw to someone outside to the left first.
Mike Cyphers to punt. Short floater. And it takes a New York bounce. And it's down at the 33-yard line. 6:54 left in the third quarter after the 24-yard punt. The Jets leading by a touchdown. Under Herman Edwards, few turnovers. They committed only 16 this year, 1 per game, and very few penalties. So they were best in the league in not giving the ball away, and second in the league in fewest penalties. So Herman in his 4 years has preached that discipline, much like Schottenheimer has for years, and Herman coached under Marty, and it's paid off. From the 34 now, the New York Jets, 1st and 10. A little tight little roll, pass out in the flat, caught there by Chris Baker. Donnie Edwards takes him down from behind after a gain of about 4. Fewest per game in a season, the Giants, who would go on to win the Super Bowl under Parcells, 14. Dallas in 98, 15. And then Jacksonville after Coughlin left in 2002, and Kansas City with 15. And there are the Jets up on that chart, and normally that translates to a pretty good year, a real good year. Flag thrown. Curtis Martin to the 40-yard line.
And a lot of that has to do when you have a back like Curtis Martin who doesn't fumble. Although with Jamal Williams in there, they're kind of getting all they can handle. You know, you say, well, where's Curtis Martin today? Why isn't Curtis Martin running? Well, most of Curtis Martin's runs are inside. And this San Diego Charger defense is very difficult to run inside on.
Number 76, 5-yard penalty enforced from the end of the run, and an automatic first down.
And that is Williams Williams, and penalties have really hurt the Chargers this season. That's 8 tonight. 70 yards.
They got Jamal Williams right here for holding. Now what you do is when you get a double team, you try and hold one of the guys that are getting off. There was no one getting off. I don't know what the heck they called there. I didn't see any holding. Usually it's a double team, or you're taking on one block as a nose tackle, and you try and hold the guard for coming off and getting up in the linebacker. Williams didn't do that.
Automatic first, ball at the 46-yard line. Pennington flushed out, coming to his left, and gets taken down at the 48-yard line by Ben Lieber, spinning him around. And there's a flag back at the 35-yard line.
And that pressure, we were talking about Williams and what he's doing. The pressure came from him.
Number 65, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat first down.
That's Brandon Moore, number 65, and he's blocking Williams. You're going to see, again, him getting the penetration. You see he goes by Mawai, and then he gets on Moore, and he gets on that outside shoulder, and he grabs it, and he made Pennington get the heck out of there. Jamal Williams is having a heck of a game. I mean, you say, again, I go back to why Curtis Martin isn't running. I think this is a big thing, and then he is causing a little havoc in the passing game also.
Again, one of those guys, because he doesn't appear on national television that much, who is a bit of an unknown, but a great player. 1st and 20 from the 36-yard line. Pennington over the middle. That's caught by Martin, and Martin takes it up to the 46-yard line. Just about the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd and 10.
And the Jets in pass protection there figure we've had enough of this Jamal Williams guy. Let's double him. So they're going to take the left guard, Pete Kendall, and have Jim just wait there. And they get Mawai takes one shoulder, Pete Kendall takes the other shoulder, and that gives Pennington the time he needs.
Second and 10, under 5 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. Jets a 1-touchdown underdog, up by 7. Pennington, a little soft throw. Martin has some blocking and exploits it, and gets taken down from behind at the 30-yard line by the linebacker Steve Foley.
Yeah, we always talk about patience, and a running back has to have patience. He has to have patience on a screen play too. And watch Curtis Martin on this play. He's going to come back here, a screen. You have patience here. You let your line get out in front of you. You hold. Let them set their blocks. Then you come in and get in behind them. 3 blockers out in front, and a very, very good cutback by Curtis Martin.
Experience, patience, cutback. After the guys had scraped them off up front. Martin close to 100 yards from scrimmage tonight.
I think they probably figured that out, that we've been pounding them in there.
Only 11 men in the huddle. No timeout is charged. It's first down.
That they've been trying to get Kevin Martin, they've been trying to get Curtis Martin inside. Nothing had been going there, so they figured, well, let's get him to the outside, and that's one way to get a Curtis Martin to the outside is on a screen pass.
Martin out, and Lamont Jordan is in. Jordan's carried twice tonight for 17 yards.
One of those explosive players that Herm Edwards was talking about last night, that he wants to get the ball in his hands. Santana Moss and Lamont Jordan.
Jordan can break one. Martin, on the other hand, longest carry this year for Curtis, 25 yards. There was Moss, who scored a touchdown. He's on the sideline for this play. And they give it to Jordan, and he goes to the outside and then cuts it back and takes the ball to the 28-yard line, and there's another penalty.
Holding, offense number 67, 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Kareem McKenzie. Another thing about Martin and ending his 10th year, look at that. Through the course of recent history, lowest career fumble rate. Martin, 1 per 140 times. Rodney Hampton The former Giant secured the ball very well during his career, and Warwick Dunn now with the Falcons would be third on that list. Martin this year fumbled twice, but the Jets didn't lose either. Jordan still in the game on 1st and 20. Lamont Jordan through the middle, and Jordan picking up a nice little chunk there to the 33-yard line. Jets bench a couple of plays ago with Bishop Harris, the running back coach, and Herman Edwards. Well,
yeah, I know one of the things that they're having a problem with is restraining Herm Edwards is what they're having a problem with.
They won't be writing about that in the papers in New York tomorrow, will they? 2nd and 13 at the 34-yard line.
But you know what the whole thing is about is when you have Curtis Martin, who led the league in rushing, and then you have Lamont Jordan, who Herm Edwards would like to see in the game. So if you put Lamont Jordan in, basically you have to take Curtis Martin out. I think that's what this whole deal is about.
After the game of the Jets win, first question. Herman, what was that on the sideline? 3rd and 11.
We were just trying to win the game.
That's right, you play to win the game. 3rd and 11 from the 32-yard line. Pennington. Caught. McCarron's looking for the first down, but no. Coming up was Quentin Jammer to stop him, and it sets up a field goal attempt, which would make it a 10-point game.
Yeah, and I think you said the right thing, that he was looking for a first down instead of going out and getting one. I mean, at some point when you get that close, you have to run like a fullback. You have to make the cutback. You have to put your shoulder down, and you have to try and ram it for that first down.
Bryan missed from 33, barely made an extra point. This is a 42-yarder. So he's been a little off his game tonight. And just hits the upright, and it goes over. So he caroms it over. Bang, bang.
That was a double doink. It was
right.
Doink, over. Good.
Doink. Redux. 17-7. Automotive classified site. Aerial coverage tonight brought to you by Budweiser. Looking down upon Qualcomm Stadium, formerly Jack Murphy Stadium, built in the late 60s and named San Diego Stadium, longtime home of the Padres, who now play downtown. And of course the Chargers, as Tim Dwight runs this kickoff back to the 29-yard line. So the Chargers have built themselves a hole. They've dug it. They have 16 minutes and 18 seconds remaining in regulation. In hockey now, as you've got a little activity post-tackle, resulting in no flag. Brees and company will go to work with 1:18 left in the third quarter. And the double doink by Bryan, making it 17-7. Tomorrow, one in Indianapolis, the other in Green Bay. And here we are in San Diego with the Chargers with 1:18 left in the third, down by 10. LaDainian and Tomlinson, gain of a couple. And what's the story, Michelle, on Nick Hardwick?
Well, Nick Hardwick is in the locker room having his right knee attended to now, Al. Remember, he injured his left ankle early in the first quarter, got taped up, went right back into the game smiling, felt great. On the very first play in, hurt the right knee. Now he's questionable for the remainder of the night, still in the locker room getting evaluated, Al.
And thus, Bob Howland, Michelle, is the guy who'll be snapping it to Brees, 2nd down and 9. Final minute, third period. Brees to the outside, that's caught, and then a nice move by Parker to try to pick up the first down. Head linesman comes in to spot it at the 39-yard line. Appears to be a little short, and there is Hardwick, but with a noticeable limp, obviously coming back out onto the field, or at least onto the sideline.
Yeah, it was interesting. The Jets on first down used nickel, so the Chargers went to run, and that's usually what you try and do. If someone wants to play 5 defensive backs and take out a linebacker on you on first down, you usually try and run them out of it. They tried to run the ball, and it didn't work, so then they had to come back and pass on 2nd down, and they were successful.
End of the period in San Diego. End of 3. The New York Jets 17. The San Diego Chargers 7. And Wild Card Saturday continues after this message from our ABC stations. Fourth quarter starting in San Diego. Al Michaels, John Madden, and Michelle Tafoya. 15 minutes left in regulation. 10-point lead and 17 unanswered points for Curtis Martin, Chad Pennington, and the New York Jets. Big third down and inches coming up for Brees and the Chargers as we start the period, and a sneak will net a first down at the 40-yard line for San Diego.
Yeah, the Chargers have kind of been an explosive offense at home this year, and you kind of feel like they've been sparring the whole game. You know, that they've been riding that stationary bike or something, going nowhere, haven't been able to put anything together, and you just kind of wait. Well, okay, the sparring's done now. When do you start the fight? I don't feel like the Chargers have started the fight yet.
We can take a look at that. All time in the history of this franchise, 10 or more point deficits have been overcome in 4 of their 7 postseason wins, and they're in that position right now to pull off another one. And as John says, we'll see if they start going downfield, and they will here as Brees goes deep, and too deep, intended for Antonio Gates.
Tell you one thing, the Jets have done a good job of shutting down Antonio Gates. I mean, he hasn't been open at all. I mean, you would think that it's not all linebacker, it's not all secondary, it's not all nickel, but he's just running into a zone defense, and wherever he goes, they seem to get on him pretty tightly when the ball gets there. He's only had 2 catches tonight for 18 yards.
And that is Donnie Henderson, the first-year defensive coordinator, used to be on Brian Bullock's staff in Baltimore, has really done a very good job. 2nd and 10, Brees. And that's caught by Parker, and Parker is able to pick up the first down. It's a good tackle by Barton to save another 6 or 7 by Parker. First down.
Yeah, the Jets move Sean Ellis around right and left. Here you see Sean Ellis now on the right side, and he tries to just do a bull move right on Robin Oben. Oben just drops his hips and takes it on. That's what you always have to do. If some guy tries to bull rush you, you have to drop your hips and you have to get down. If you stand up, he'll take you right to the quarterback.
Sean Ellis is on the sideline. It's 1st and 10 from the 46. Brees to the outside, and that is caught by Eric Parker. That's a nice catch by Parker, who has really emerged this season. Covered there by David Barrett, and Parker tonight's been the go-to guy for Brees. That's 8 catches for him.
Eric Parker comes back a little, and that's what you always want to do as a receiver. He runs the out, squares it, and then comes back. And Drew Brees makes a nice throw. He throws it down and away. He brings him back and then throws it down where there's no way that Barrett can get to it.
12:50 left, 1st and 10 from the 34. Brees buys time, pump fake. Everybody covered, swings it to Tomlinson. Tomlinson close to a first down. Derek Strait finally stops him, and they'll put it right at the marker at the 24-yard line.
Yeah, he was trying to throw the ball over to the right side. He had pretty good protection, and he has to come back to Tomlinson late. You see, he comes on a bootleg, but there's good coverage. That's what he was trying to do. He was trying to get the ball deep out there to Eric Parker. Then he had to come off the bootleg, back to the other side, and he found LaDainian Tomlinson.
2nd and inches now from the 24-yard line. Reset the formation. Does he take advantage of the down and distance? Pretty much a free play on 2nd and short. Instead, they play it conservatively. Get the first down here as Tomlinson gets to the 23-yard line.
Yeah, we were talking about Antonio Gates, and now he has to be a bigger part of this offense. And I've said the closer they get to the goal line, I think the bigger he becomes. And now they're getting into an area where he can be a very, very effective weapon.
Double tight end set now at the 23-yard line. Gates on the left side. Pio also in the game. Parker in motion. The fake to Tomlinson. Brees going for 6. Too high. Intended for Parker.
You know, sometimes on those passes when you're throwing them into the end zone, you're not sure if the quarterback just throws the ball high or if he's throwing it away. That time, you know, Drew Brees put everything he had on that one, and I think he saw double coverage there where he was trying to go and just put a little extra on it, put it a little high to throw it away. Because his alternative, if he were going to throw it there, would have been to force it.
Second down, 10.
You know, the Jets only have 10 players.
On that last play. Brees throws, and that's incomplete. They have 10 on that play, too?
Yeah. They had a 4-2-4.
That's not good.
No.
And San Diego couldn't exploit either situation.
No, on 2 plays there, the Jets have only had, look, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 linebackers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 10.
And on two consecutive plays, as far as we can tell.
Yeah, they did the same thing the play before.
Right, because I didn't see anybody come off or on the field between plays. 3rd and 10. See, the old 4-2-4.
The old 4-2-4 got him twice in a row. Holy moly, what's going on there now?
Now they have 11. We've counted them up. Little shovel pass. Tomlinson, but he gets tripped up. 16-yard line. Not the worst thing in the world because you're down by 10 points, you're going to need a 7 and a 3 or a 3, and they'll go for 3 right here.
Yeah, and that's what Marty Schottenheimer had to be thinking. And we just have to get a drive going here, and we have to end up with a score, whether that score be the 3 or the 7.
Little pressure now on Nate Kading, 3rd-round draft choice, as I said before, pretty high for a kicker, out of Iowa.
Although when the other team only has 10 guys in there for 2 plays, you kind of wished you would have taken advantage of it.
Squandered opportunity, 35-yard attempt, and that one is just good. Both kickers tonight flirting with danger. 10:43 left in regulation. The New York Jets 17 and the San Diego Chargers 10. Diego down by 7 with 10:43 to go. The rookie Kading to kick off. Taken at the 2-yard line by the other rookie, Kochery, and he gets taken down at the 29-yard line. Pennington, who's 7 for 7 this half, will take over there. 10:38 remaining in regulation. 17-10 Jets. Chargers in postseason play for the first time in 9 years. Up on their feet. Looking at their defense right now as the Jets have it at the 28-yard line. Pennington 7 of 7 in the half for 113 yards.
Now you're talking. This is playoff football here.
Absolutely, as Martin goes to the outside. Can't get around the corner. Ben Lieber makes the tackle after a gain of a couple.
You know, these fans were so fired up. And I was watching television last night, and there were people here in the parking lot. They were here at 8:30 in the morning. The game didn't start until 5. They were tailgating. I mean, they were ready, and they wanted something to really shout, to really come on. I think it had to wait now to the 4th quarter. They get a field goal. Now they want their defense to step up and play big.
Dream season, and they want it extended. Winner of this game goes to either Foxborough or Pittsburgh next week. 2nd and 6. Swung to the outside. Caught by Jordan. Gang tackled. Up at the 33-yard line.
You know, I always felt that the deeper you go into a playoff game, the higher the intensity. You know, you come into the game and everyone's kind of fired up in the 1st quarter, the 2nd quarter, the 3rd. You get into the 4th quarter, and now you're really dealing with finality.
You're in that loser's locker room. You're on vacation tonight. That's it. Over.
Your next game's a preseason game.
August. 3rd and 5. Crowd on its feet. Pennington, good protection, throws, and the catch is made. A flag is down at the 39-yard line. Jonathan Carter makes the grab, tackled by Jamar Fletcher.
Jamar Fletcher is the nickel back, so the Chargers were in 5 defensive backs.
Herm Edwards already figuring the penalty is against the Chargers. The play has that's a first down.
Defense number
Doesn't
25.
matter.
5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Takes the ball a yard farther than the run. First down.
We're just talking about Jamar Fletcher. He's the nickel back. You can see him right there. Watch that left hand. That's it.
The penalty
They got him.
declined. That's the better result.
It was going to be a first down regardless, and Edwards takes the play because it netted 6 yards instead of the penalty, which would have given them 5. First down in either event.
Look at Chad Pennington there. Don't you feel that he really has control of the huddle?
Very much so.
He gets down there in his knee, looks up at every player as he calls the play.
Perfect half. A little over 9 minutes to go. From the 40. Look at that protection again to the outside. Getting open is Jordan, and that's a first down at the San Diego 47, and he's back there in an easy chair. Pennington is.
Yeah, he is, and that was really his third read. If you look at the protection and the time that he has, he looks to the left, he pumps, and then he was trying to go deep to the left side, came back to the middle, and then finally to the right sideline. He had an up on one side, a post in the middle, and he threw it to the out, his third read.
That offensive line doing a great job for the Jets. First and 10 at the 47. Martin. Stop him at the 46-yard line. So the 2 star running backs, I mean, okay nights, nothing spectacular. Martin 51 yards, Tomlinson 56, but they have really not been the headliners tonight.
Well, I think both of these defenses came in here to stop the running game. You know, they said the first have to do is we have to stop Tomlinson. We have to stop Curtis Martin. So they kind of took that away, and in doing so, they opened up some other things and forced them to go to more passing.
And Pennington, 21 out of 27, empty backfield here on second down and 9. Little pressure, away he goes, and he slides to a stop at the 40-yard line. And it's getting just about to the point right now where this is not only a pretty critical drive, especially for San Diego to stop them, but a big play here. Otherwise, the Jets can take a couple of more minutes off the clock.
Right, and you're going to see on that last play again is Jamal Williams getting the pressure right up the middle, and he got right in Chad Pennington's passing lane. See, Chad Pennington's trying to throw that slant in there, but he would have had to throw it through Jamal Williams.
Chargers trying to keep it a one-score game. This is a big play for San Diego's defense. Third down and 3. Pennington slings it to the outside, and it's off the hands of Curtis Martin. So the Chargers get a stop that they very much needed.
Well, you can look at those fans, and they knew that, too. What you were saying, they were all reacting to it. I mean, this whole crowd was all standing up, and they were just everything for that defense.
You get to this point, you know, all you can do if you're a fan here, you look up, and that clock keeps going down, 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 down.
And that's what I said, the finality of it. There's no, well, we'll get them next week, or we'll get them the next game, or we'll win our next 3 games. You lose, you go home.
Goins punt. High floating kick. And the Jets, with a flag down, will have an opportunity to down it at the 8-yard line, but there's another penalty. It came after the ball was kicked by Goin. Hockley and his crew have been very busy, especially for a postseason game tonight.
And we were talking about, you know, you get into playoffs and you don't see as many penalties called. We're breaking the rule here tonight.
San Diego may have had an extra guy on the field. 12 men. It was 4th down and 13. I'm sorry, 4th and 3. And if that is
12 men on the field by the defense, 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
You know, and these are 2 coaches that really pride themselves in, you know, doing the right thing, not having stupid penalties, not doing stupid things. We see the Jets play defense twice with only 10 guys. We see coaches fight. We see a coach get out on the field. We see you finally stop them, and then you have 12 guys in the field.
Amazing that the Jets get away with twice. They got away with 10 guys on the field, as John just mentioned, and then a 12th man for San Diego is a killer. It gives the Jets a first down. It moves them 5 yards closer. It gets them pretty close to field goal range and gives them the opportunity to make it a 2-possession game.
Right, and we're just talking about 6 minutes, 47 seconds left.
At the 35-yard line, first down. Martin. Now it becomes even more critical for the Chargers for the defensive stop here.
You know, when you talk about Curtis Martin and not fumbling and leading the league and all these things, this is when he really comes into play. This kind of surprises me that they take him out now. I mean, I would think that this is when you give the game to a Curtis Martin.
A no doubt Hall of Fame guy in the future. They bring Jordan in. Second down and 6. Pennington works the clock and a flag before the snap.
Before the ball was snapped, false start offense, number 88. 5-yard penalty. It's still second down.
Anthony Beck.
For teams that don't get penalized much and, you know, again, don't do some things that just shoot themselves in the foot, both of these guys have been doing that.
Game started out fairly penalty-free. One benefit, it's an interesting, nuance in the rule. Pennington was milking the clock. Then you have the penalty. The down remains the same. You add 5 more yards, but you still get a fresh clock, albeit a 25-second clock instead of 40, so you can milk it some more.
Yeah, but you still want to get back in field goal range.
Second down and 12. Martin is back in the game, and Martin gets bounced down at the 35-yard line by Randall Godfrey.
Well, he really did get bounced down by Randall Godfrey. Godfrey's another guy. You know, Donnie Edwards has kind of been the superstar linebacker of this team, but Randall Godfrey's been playing pretty well too. He likes to play up closer to the line of scrimmage. Donnie Edwards likes to play back and use his speed more.
Third.
Jets have kind of kept him out of the game.
5 minutes to go. Very critical 3rd and 8 at the 34-yard line. Pennington throws, and it's dropped. McCarron's, who was covered by Florence. So a big stop for San Diego. And now for Herman Edwards. Do you bring in Brian, who hasn't been kicking well tonight, who missed a 33-yarder, who double-doinked the field goal, who just made an extra point? Do you try to make it a 10-point game? The downside to this, of course, is if he misses it, San Diego winds up with the ball at about its own 42-yard line. So you're looking at a 52-yard field goal if indeed this is going to be a field goal attempt and not a fake, to try to make it a 2-possession game. This is a very interesting call, and now the Jets take a timeout. I mean, to me, in these conditions, with your kicker not on his game, to risk a 42-yard line start for San Diego, pretty dubious. Timeout. The Jets thought better of it. Brian will not attempt the field goal. They bring Dolan in to punt. You can see what Doug has done over the last 5 years. He's made one 50-yard field goal in the last 5 years. And, of course, Schottenheimer got burned with the 12 men on the field, making sure he has 11. And now the punt is a high floating kick that the Jets can't down at the 2-yard line. That was Jonathan Carter waiting to try to make the catch and down it, but he couldn't. So Brees and the gang come out at the 20-yard line with 4:46 remaining. Pressure. Pressure. And then the winner of this game would go to the Steelers. But Colts and Broncos, if the Broncos win, they would go to Pittsburgh. Since Pittsburgh's #1, it would be 6-1. And then the winner of this game would go to New England, since the Patriots are second. So tonight, the winner still won't know where it's going next week, but it knows it's going to Pennsylvania or Massachusetts.
And you wonder what you're doing if you're Pittsburgh and New England. Who are you getting ready for?
First things first. 4:46 left. 1st and 10. Chargers starting the drive from the 20. Brees under pressure gets enveloped and gets sacked at the 14-yard line and might have lost the ball. Jason Ferguson, he did. The ball came loose, but he recovers himself, and it's 2nd and 16.
This is we talk about the offensive line and you talk about pass rush and those things. This is when you need it. In this situation right here, Drew Brees is trying to step up. He didn't have anyone open on his first read, and by the time he stepped up, the whole pocket, instead of being there for him, all collapsed on him.
3-man line. Now they show a little blitz and back off. 2nd and 16. And Brees deep over the middle, and that is caught at the 34 by Antonio Gates. So Gates makes his biggest play of the night, tackled by Reggie Tongue, and a first down, 19-yard gain.
Well, we know that the Jets were going to play nickel in these situations. They play number 38, John McGraw, on him. You see, McGraw just goes out in a zone. He plays on him, but doesn't take a man. He plays out in a zone, and they just hit Antonio Gates in the seam of that zone.
Chargers have all of their timeouts plus the 2-minute warning. The Jets have only 2 because when they sent Brian out and then called a timeout, that cost them one of their 3 from the 35 on first down. And that's deflected, and Tomlinson can't get there. Tomlinson looked like he might have lost it in the lights. Tried to get his bearings and couldn't get underneath it. 2nd down and 10. Hit Mike Goff, his own lineman. Goff, 79, in the back of the head here.
Yeah, it does. Here's Goff here. Watch him. He's just pass protected here. And as Drew Brees goes to step up, that's just throwing that ball too low, isn't it? Well, he's looking for a lane. He had a lane there, but you have to throw it over your offensive lineman's head.
2nd down and 10 from the 35. Brees caught. Gates again. First down into Jet territory. Being chased. Dragged down to the 23 by Coleman.
Now they're going to the guys that got him here. And this is what happens when you have a 260-pound tight end. He's going to make a move. He's going to catch a ball. Now, this is a tough part. You can't just wrap him. You better get 3 or 4 guys on him if you're going to get Antonio Gates down in the open field. Arm tackles and just hands are not going to get this guy down.
Matched up with McGraw, 44-yard gain, 1st and 10, 2:40 left in regulation. And Brees has taken a timeout. So the Chargers will spend one. They have 2 plus the 2-minute warning, so that's really not an issue right now. And I go back to, we talked about the Charger postseason history. In the 4 games they've won, they've overcome deficits of 10 or more and trying to do that again here. NFC playoff picture. Who would have thought?
Yeah.
After last week, they almost lose to the Jets, which would have put New Orleans in the playoffs.
Right, and the Rams are one of those teams that the minute you think they're a great team, they'll play lousy, and the minute you think they're lousy, they'll play great. Marty Schottenheimer was talking about Antonio Gates yesterday, and he says he has a great catching radius. And I think this is the area now where you use guys that have a great catching radius.
Never played college football. He was a fine basketball player at Kent State. Brees swings it to the outside, and then Tomlinson juggles, but by juggling and still making the catch, it cost him any opportunity for a decent gain and an inside move on Donnie Abraham.
I was talking to LaDainian Tomlinson the other day, and we were talking about why he didn't catch as many balls this year. And like I said, he caught 100 last year, and he just smiled and said, Antonio Gates. And he says, I'm really glad, too. I mean, that's something. Running backs, will catch a lot of footballs, but they would much rather just run with the ball and let tight ends and receivers catch most of the ball.
Gates' NFL record in the second year, 13 touchdown catches for a tight end. 2nd down and 10. And they run a draw. Tomlinson runs into the official, still gets the first down, takes it to the 9-yard line. 1st and goal.
Don't you just feel that the Chargers got to this point, says we have to ride the guys that got us here? You go to Antonio Gates for a big play, and then you need a run, and you give it to LaDainian Tomlinson. Look at the moves that he has. He just lets them go, and then the only guy that he couldn't beat is that umpire. He runs right into him. He's always looking at the next level. When he's at the line, he's looking at the linebackers. When he's at the linebackers, he's looking at the secondary. And no place in there does he look at the umpire.
2-minute warning, 1st and goal. What a finish. Coming up we're set up for a fantastic finish. 17-10. Pennington tonight has thrown for 2 touchdowns. Santana Moss grabbing that one. Brees, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, and he's got his team to a 1st and goal situation. There was the catch by McCardell. Herm Edwards and Bishop Harris going at it on the sideline before. Earlier, Schottenheimer got penalized for going out onto the field. The game's had a little bit of everything, and right now with 2 minutes to go, it's 1st down and goal for San Diego. The Chargers were the best team in the league in the red zone this season in converting for touchdowns. 70% of the time, they got it into the end zone. From the 9. Tomlinson, yard and a half, maybe 2 to the 7. Robertson is there for the stop.
You have to think somewhere in this series here that they're going to go to Antonio Gates. I was watching him practice the other day, and they have the thing where they'll split him out and then just try and throw that thing up to him, just like a basketball play. And if it's not this down, I would expect it on the next down.
Clearly in a 4-down situation here. Time not a factor. They have 2 timeouts. 2nd and goal. Brees stepping up. He's going to run. Drew Brees takes it to the 1-yard line. Stopped there by Coleman. 3rd down and goal.
He was trying to throw it to Antonio Gates out there. They split Antonio Gates out like a wide receiver, and they were going to throw him that jump ball. But he couldn't get it out there, so he had to run with it. Here's Gates right here. This is what they were trying to do. So you just throw that fade, throw it to the 2nd pylon. That was either a bad pattern by Gates or good defense. Drew Brees saw that and knew, I better get the heck out of here.
And Coleman saves the touchdown.
He's looking right there. He's trying to throw the jump ball. It's not there, so he has to do this. He's a tough little guy, this Drew Brees.
He is.
I think both these quarterbacks playing today are tough guys.
San Diego with 1 timeout. And look at that, the Jets, only 4 plays this season when the opponent was at the 1, and they didn't let him in once. For San Diego, the perfect ending to this drive would have been to score and take as much time off the clock as they could, but they had to call a timeout. This is too critical a call here. But if they score, they'll leave the Jets some time, and the Jets have 2 timeouts remaining. But first things first, 3rd down and goal.
This is where I think you just hand it to LaDainian Tomlinson. Let that big offensive line do the working for the Jets. Of course, Dwayne Robertson, Ferguson, they have to be the big run stoppers inside.
Lorenzo Neal is the blocking back, and he's great. And they give it to Tomlinson. And Tomlinson will not get in, and that's going to set up the whole ball game here for the San Diego Chargers, or at least to send it, what they hope, into an overtime period. 4th down and goal.
And there was no place at all for Tomlinson to run in there. We were talking about these 2 tackles that have to play, Robertson and Ferguson. Watch right here how low they get and how they play right here. And just that whole line, they just take everything and they get penetration and they don't give the Chargers anything. See, there's no place for Tomlinson to run. Everything is forced to the inside, and it all started with the penetration of Robertson.
Now San Diego's going to take a timeout. The Jets did them a little bit of a favor here because San Diego was able to take all that time off the clock. They know they have only 1 play. After this, it doesn't matter. It's a touchdown or the Jets get it back. Now the Jets could have taken a timeout knowing what San Diego was doing in that situation, and now the Jets have left themselves very little, so if San Diego scores, it's almost certain to go to overtime instead of the Jets having an opportunity to get into field goal range.
Right, and I think that 3rd down play running to Tomlinson was the play, and I think now when you get to 4th down, I think it has to be some kind of option, some kind of play action pass, bootleg, where Drew Brees fakes a run, hopes that the goal line defense of the Jets will bite on it, and then he can get out on the perimeter and either throw it or run it. I think this becomes a passing situation.
Isn't this, if you went into the playbook, you'd find your best two-point conversion play right here.
Right, and that's what you have to run, and I think, it's probably going to include, again, Antonio Gates, who didn't do a very good job that time they did call the play for him, or Tomlinson.
Will the Jets move on, or will the game move on? It comes down to this. 4th and goal. Tomlinson goes in motion. Brees looking, under pressure, throws up a prayer. Knocked down by the Jets, and there's a flag down. There is a flag down at the 21-yard line. For the moment, the Jets have held, but it's all about the penalty now. And the Chargers are indicating it's against the Jets.
I think it was against Eric Barton. I think he hit Drew Brees in the head after he threw the ball.
Wow.
Number 74, a blow to the head.
And not
automatic first down.
And not only that, it gives the Chargers an opportunity to maybe run 2 plays now, or even 3.
Watch Eric Barton right there. Oh, see, the left hand was probably okay, but watch when he pulls that right. The left hand okay, but that right hand to the head, they're going to call that every time. I mean, you want to be emotional, you want to be passionate. There's only one way to play the game, but in these situations, you got to play it smart.
And now for the Chargers, as Hockley signals timeout Jets, they take a timeout. For San Diego, that was the bonanza. You get a 1st and goal, and with a couple of incomplete passes, you still have an opportunity for 2 or 3 plays. Meanwhile, these wild card playoffs today being brought to you by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper, one taste, and you get it. Verizon Wireless, we never stop working for you. Lowe's, where you'll find all your home improvement needs. Lowe's, improving home improvement. And Subway, what to eat when you want to eat fresh. Subway, eat fresh. Aerial coverage tonight provided by Budweiser. What a game.
Now here's Eric Barton one more time. Again, you're going after him. The ball's out of there. I mean, there's nothing you can do. You're not going to get a sack. It was 4th down. All you have to do at that point, really, is just leave him alone. And now, the Chargers still have to score here.
Absolutely.
Because they got that penalty, that didn't give them any points.
Nope, didn't give them any points. But you're almost compelled, I think, to pass the ball here, only because you'll have the opportunity for a couple of passes. If you run it, that clock is going to go down in a big hurry.
Right, because the Chargers have no timeout, so they really have to pass the ball to get more plays.
1st and goal from the 1. And they're going to throw it. And Brees is going to throw in the end zone for a touchdown to Gates. On the drive, Gates caught 3. He accounted for 66 of the 80. And the rookie Kading comes in for what is always an automatic extra point. But this one is anything but automatic.
I think Antonio Gates made a basketball move there on Eric Coleman. Didn't play college football, college basketball player.
And Kading bangs it through with 11 seconds to play. And so San Diego, which took the early 7-0 lead, the Jets scored 17 unanswered points. Now the Chargers scored 10 straight, and we're 11 seconds from overtime.
Watch Antonio Gates here. You'll see Eric Coleman on, and you see that move. That's that basketball move I was talking about, where he kind of starts inside with his left shoulder. Coleman goes to the inside, and Gates just goes back to the outside. Then you get that big 260-pound body out there to throw to. That's pretty good. Watch a little move there, that little shake move, and then he is wide open.
And penalties have been gigantic tonight. The roughing the passer. Outside of that, the game is over and the Jets win. You had the Schottenheimer penalty earlier, which put the Jets in a good position. to cash in. And then this one. And that's going to be a 30-hour plane ride home for Barton if the Jets lose this game.
You know, and he's thinking, like I said, it was 4th down. The ball was out of Brees' hand. The game was over. Whew. Take your shirts off and go, man. One of the ways you go to a game, you go and you just wear a shirt during regulation and take it off during overtime. Right. Shirts off, everyone.
A little easier in San Diego than in Green Bay. I mean, it's 60 degrees, guys. Now the kickoff. Does Kading kick it conventionally or roll it down there? It's a conventional kick. Contrary ran one back last week, 94 yards. And there's such adrenaline for Kading that he bangs it into the end zone. So at the 20, the Jets get it. Chargers last drive. They started, remember, at the 20. The Jets couldn't down the ball at the 2. And Gates was the big man. That 44-yard pass and run. Tomlinson able to run into the umpire but get a 1st and goal. Brees takes it down to the 1.5. The huge penalty. The Gates catch. 80 yards they go in 4:35 to tie it.
The Chargers on their last 2 series, it kind of felt like the Chargers. More what you kind of expected out of this team. You know, like I said earlier, it was like they were sparring the first part of it, and then the last part of it, they started to fight.
Jets will take it to overtime. Crowd waving its towels, and the next big call in this game is heads or tails.
Right, and this is a true overtime. You know, this isn't one of those. This is a true sudden death where you just keep going until someone wins. It's not just a 15-minute period.
Last year in the playoffs, and remember there are 11 postseason games, counting the Super Bowl, in the NFL under the current playoff format. 3 games went to OT. It's sudden death. The visitor, the Jets here calling the coin toss. 15-minute periods. This was like a new game was starting. It's not like overtime in the regular season where it's a maximum of 15 minutes. The coaches don't have a challenge here. Everything is initiated upstairs. So it's played like the beginning of a game. In fact, if you played 2 scoreless periods, you would go to a 3rd. We'd have everything at halftime except the bands.
Right, and it would be a shorter halftime. I think it's just a 3-minute halftime.
We will now begin a sudden death overtime period. The first team to score wins. We will begin a new ball game. Timing rules from the first quarter. Each team will have 3 timeouts per half. All replay stoppages will come from the booth. They will not come from the sideline coaches. It's your call. What is your call? Heads. Heads is the call. Heads is the call. Heads is the call. It is tails. It is tails. San Diego, you want the ball? It's direction.
So San Diego gets the ball, and they'll work against a Jet defense that was out on the field for that 80-yard drive. Overtime when we come back after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Michelle Tafoya, the 5th period begins. Drew Brees ready to get under center. Pennington can only wait and hope he gets the ball. Because if the Chargers score, it's over. If you're a Jet fan, I don't have to remind you. In '86, Mark Gastineau, 10-point lead in Cleveland. Hits Bernie Kosar. Jets lose. Schottenheimer's on the other sideline. 18 years later, here we are again.
And those are the kind you never, ever live down. A win will help you, but you never live it down.
Goins kick, fielded by Tim Dwight at the 7. The speedy one out past the 20 to the 26-yard line. The Chargers start there, and a little pushing and shoving afterwards. Chargers have scored on their last 2 possessions. Field goal, touchdown, have the ball again, and there are Brees' numbers tonight. That quarterback rating into triple figures after that last drive.
You know, that's about the same rating that he's had all season. I think his rating for the season was 104. But those last couple of drives, they looked like the explosive Chargers and the Drew Brees Chargers that we've kind of seen all year. And I think the point that you made, Al, just before overtime was the fact that this Jet defense is the same group that's been out there and they have to come back and start playing again.
Chargers have been on the field a long time, and Brees will start with a little screen pass to Tomlinson. And Tomlinson is able to run it out to close to a first down. I think he has it. Jason Ferguson up at the 36, very close.
You know what I like about Tomlinson, and I've always liked, he always looks fresh. I mean, you watch him, and here we are in the fifth period of a game, and he looks as fast and as quick as he did when he came out of the tunnel for introductions.
Spotted right at the 35 at second down. Short one. Brees flushed out. He's outside the pocket, and he can afford to throw that one away. It'll be third down and short. Flushed out by Brian Thomas. So Marty Schottenheimer, he's been in so many of these games. And in the history of the league, he is now the first coach to coach 4 postseason overtime games. He's won 2 and lost 1. Don Shula coached in 3.
Well, you know, those are 2 very good coaches, 2 of the all-time best. And you're going to do that when you win a lot of games and get in a lot of playoffs. You're going to have a lot of those kinds of records.
3rd and 1. Brees comes up in the shotgun here. A high snap, and then he gives it to Tomlinson. And Tomlinson tries to roll his way to a first down. And where are they going to put it? Yep, he has just enough, apparently. Andre Wash, the umpire, is there and looked like, well, no, he doesn't. He does not.
No, they tried to fool him there. They went 3 wide receivers, got the Jets in nickel, tried to get him spread out and just run that draw. But it looked, because the snap was high, it looked like the timing was thrown off a little.
And again, it's the backup center, Bob Howland, because Nick Hardwick was hurt earlier and hasn't been back. They're going to measure. Again, the yellow line is unofficial, but he doesn't appear to have it, and he does not officially. So a curious call to begin with. 3rd and short. You've got Tomlinson in the game. You go into a shotgun with a backup center. You try to run an inside handoff, and you come up short.
Yeah, and I think it all started because of the bad snap. And this is a situation here that the fans want you to go for it. You win the flip, and you want to take advantage of that. But I think you have to punt it. But I don't know that Marty's going to punt it. I think he is going for it. Or maybe remember the last time he got in this situation and he drew him off sides with a hard count. Maybe he's going to do that, and if they don't jump, punt it. But if I were in this situation, I would punt it.
I would too. Robertson jumped the last time. I'll be shocked if they snap it.
I'll be shocked if Robertson were to jump this time.
They're just trying to draw him.
Yeah.
Then they're gonna. Did they take the timeout? They did. They didn't let the clock run out. That's too critical of 5 yards here to take a delay of the game. In comes the punting group now. Jets will get the football. Pennington hasn't had the ball in his hands in about 20-25 minutes. He should get it here, barring something crazy on this punt. Mike Cyphers to boot it.
The Jet offense darn near had to go into another pregame warm-up.
Santana Moss.
That's right.
Back for the Jets.
Santana Moss back to receive it.
How'd you like to be that guy? Ooh.
David Ben is the snapper. Kick away. Short kick, but it takes a good San Diego bounce. And it's down to the 26-yard line. So Pennington comes out. He's thrown for 250. Curtis Martin tonight held well under his average. 59 yards on 16 carries. McCarron's has been the guy he's most gone to 7 times through the air.
Well, the Jet defense did their job to hold off and get their offense back in the field. You know, they always talk about that rule that, you know, if you win the coin flip, you win the game. But Okay, they lost the coin flip, but here's their opportunity.
From the 26-yard line. Play fake. Pennington throws. And that is dropped that time by McCarron, who gets hit by Jerry Wilson simultaneously with the ball arriving. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
I'll tell you, Chad Pennington's done a pretty good job, I think. I mean, we know that he has a bad shoulder, a rotator cuff injury, and like he said yesterday, he said, I just hope adrenaline takes over. I mean, adrenaline is one of the greatest drugs that there is, and it's just, nature just supplies it in a big game, and he has it now, and I think after you throw on 1st down, you're kind of committed to throw the next 2.
2nd down and 10 from the 26-yard line. And Pennington, decent protection, but the secondary does its work, and finally Foley comes in to take him down.
Everyone always wants to pass on 1st down, and it's great, but if it's not complete, then you end up on 2nd and long. And here comes Steve Foley. He's the linebacker that in that 3-man line is usually the rush guy. And he has all those moves. He has that speed, and he has the quickness, and he brings it. And he'll bring it again on this down.
And the rain begins to fall for the first time in about an hour and a half. Well, the weather has been a non-factor tonight. 3rd down and 10 from the 26. Pennington stepping up, throwing to the sideline, and the pass is incomplete. Tried to hit McCarron, so it is a very fast 3-and-out for the New York Jets. Each team has had the ball, and we've only played 2 minutes and 33 seconds in overtime. Toby going 4 punts tonight. Eric Parker back to receive.
You know, don't you feel if one of the teams has momentum right now, it's the Chargers?
Well, they should have fairly decent field position, if nothing else. From the 33, Parker's going to come back this way. Nothing but white shirts, nowhere to go, and they'll get the ball at the 31-yard line. So for the Chargers now, what they need to do basically is gain about 40 yards, 45 yards, at least to put Kading in a position to win the game with a field goal.
I think when you're in this part of the field, you think in terms of 1st downs, and that's what the Chargers are thinking. And Drew Brees now is let's get 1 1st down. Then after you get that 1st down, you're about to 40. Okay, let's get another 1st down. Then you're past midfield, then another 1st down, then you play from there. You don't go for a whole bundle right now.
Out of the gun, Brees on 1st down from the 30-yard line. And that pass is incomplete, and you begin to wonder now, and I said the weather has not been a factor when we talked about it, but at this point, as it begins to rain again and the ball begins to get slick again, that one looked like it might have been a situation that the rain did come into play.
Yeah, and that's the thing that talking to both quarterbacks about, throwing a wet ball or a wet field, that's the thing that they worry about is the grip. And sometimes, you'll have a looser grip and the ball will slip out, and other times you grip too tightly and the ball slips out.
2nd down and 10 from the 30-yard line. Brees, good protection this time, fires over the middle. It's about a 5-yard gain. As he goes to the tight end Gates, he's tackled there by Jonathan Vilma. 3rd down and 5 coming up for San Diego.
And this is where you like that tight end and where they're so strong. In the middle, when you're playing zone, I mean, he's just such a big target in there. You talk about that radius, that catching radius that he has. That's not a perfect pass. It's a little behind him, but he just kind of reaches out halfway and boom, just snags it right out of the air. Which brings up this big down, as you just said.
3rd down and 5 from the 35. Again with a backup center out of the shotgun with a wet football. And Brees throws, and that's a 1st down. Eric Parker makes the catch. 1st down, San Diego at their own 43.
Yeah, the Jets come on a blitz here, so Parker is out there. He knows it's about 3rd and 5. They have a little cushion on the blitz, so the thing that you do is you just get your 1st down and stop. Drew Brees saw it and got the ball out of there quickly. You see the blitz coming. Drew Brees knows he has to get the ball out of there quickly. Parker had run his hook, enough for the first down.
A little more than 4 minutes into overtime at the 43-yard line on the ground to Tomlinson. Gain of 1. They're going to try to set up a Kading field goal. Kading is a rookie if he gets the opportunity. In the history of the NFL, there's been only one rookie with a game-winning kick in the last 2 minutes of a game or in overtime in postseason. You have to go back to Super Bowl V. Jim O'Brien was a rookie when he kicked the field goal to win it for Baltimore.
I remember that game. I would have guessed Jan Stenerud or something.
O'Brien made it. Kading hopes to be in a position to duplicate it. Second down and 9. Brees to Tomlinson. Breaking tackles across the 50, close to a first down. He broke out of a Jonathan Vilma tackle, and now San Diego is back where it was on the last series, when on 3rd and 1 they made a curious call out of a curious formation and didn't make the first down.
Yeah, it was funny on that last play. Jonathan Vilma was the guy that tackled Tomlinson right at the line of scrimmage. This time Tomlinson won that battle, made Vilma miss, and almost got the first down to bring up this play.
Instead of curious formation because it was a shotgun on 3rd and 1. This time conventionally under center goes Brees.
I like this a lot better.
Yes. And Brees will sneak it for a first down to the 46-yard line.
They get him in a little bind there. They bring in 3 wide receivers, get him in nickel, get him spread out. And you want to spread out because they have 3 wide receivers, but then they also have Tomlinson back there, and then Drew Brees says when he sees this middle like this, he can just take a quarterback sneak. When you get a middle and there's just 4 guys and the linebacker is that far off, that is almost automatic.
First and 10 from the 45-yard line. They go to their horse. Tomlinson picks up a couple to the 43-yard line.
You know, you think about when both of these teams, started having mini camps and then went to training camp and preseason and then the whole regular season, and you play the game, you play the playoff game, and then you get into overtime, and it all comes down to right now. I mean, everything. That's why you lift them weights. And it all comes down. I mean, all that running, those weightlifting, everything you've been doing comes down to having to make plays right now, both offensively and defensively.
And as you say, John, such finality for the loser. Next game, August. Second down and 8. Brees throwing, caught. Tomlinson looking for the first down. He has it. So they're at the 32-yard line. They're indicating field goal range, but you don't go for it here. On this field, under these conditions with a rookie kicker, Schottenheimer will feel a lot better with just 1 more first down.
Didn't you feel in overtime, though, that LaDainian Tomlinson was just fresher than everyone else?
Yes.
I mean, you just look here, and he still has that burst. He still has that juking. He still has the quickness to make plays like that.
From the 33. 7.5 into overtime. Tomlinson again swings to the outside. Inside the 30, taken down to the 25-yard line.
You know, one of the reasons I think that the Chargers are going to Tomlinson all the time is because he's probably their best player. But the other reason is, on this whole drive, the Jets have been playing nickel. So one thing you do when they want to play you nickel, take out a linebacker, play with an extra defensive back, you want to run them out of that. And that's what the Chargers are doing.
He's beat, and the Jet defense looks beat too. The Chargers have run 73 plays tonight, and San Diego takes a timeout, if for nothing else, for no other reason than to give Tomlinson a breather.
Yeah, I was just saying how fresh he looked, and he did look fresh, but this drive is taking the last drops out of his tank.
He'll be a lot fresher in about a minute. 8 minutes into overtime. San Diego took a timeout. Herman Edwards' defense trying to hold. San Diego already in field goal range. And it's second down and 1 now from the 24-yard line. Brees is going to try to sneak it for a first down, and he's going to get it. He gets it at the 22. And now the big question for Schottenheimer becomes, at what point do you send Kading in? And John, the amazing thing about the Chargers, and there is Kading. The whole thing, you go back to Eli Manning saying, don't draft me, I'm not going. They draft him. Then they effect the deal with New York, the Phillip Rivers thing. They get draft picks in it. One of the draft picks is used to pick Kading. Is that coming full circle or what?
That is full circle. And shortly it could all be on his shoulders. But that is where I think the Chargers, have done such a great job this year. I mean, they ended up 12-4 is they have a lot of adversity. They were 4-12 last year. Eli Manning doesn't want to come. The whole, and instead of getting down and staying down, they just bounced back up.
They're going to measure. He appeared to have it at first.
Now, in this situation here, I believe that you take a shot at the goal line. Now, I know that I was in this situation. We played the Baltimore Colts. It was in the 6th period. And I knew when I got my field goal, I said, okay, I can kick a field goal. That gives me one opportunity, or try and field goal. Or I can go for the end zone and just throw the ball to the second pylon to Dave Casper and try that. So I figured if I did that, I'd had 2 shots. So anyway, that's what we did. I think that's the play. I think somewhere in here, before you go for the field goal, you take a shot at the end zone.
This is the scene, of course, of the fabled Holy Roller.
Yes, it was. Going this way, too.
Absolutely. First and 10.
Right about in this situation, in this part of the field.
From the 23-yard line. Conservative, conventional call. Tomlinson, 22-yard line.
Well, I wonder if Kading likes one part of the field or the other, because you can put it, by where you run it, and your quarterback can handle that. You can put it on the right hash mark by running it right, the left hash mark by running it left, or if you want it in the middle, just run it straight up the middle. It looks like they don't believe in my theory of taking one shot before you try for the field goal, though.
Second down and 11 from the 23-yard line. Tomlinson again. Now you want to send him in here, because if you have a botched snap or hold, you would get a second opportunity. Again, you're looking at about a 40-yard field goal.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I mean, if you're not going to take a shot at the end zone, that you do attempt the field goal on 3rd down.
Kading just pacing. He looks like he's about 12, but he must feel like he's about 50 right now.
And if he makes it, he'll feel like he's 5 on Christmas.
Well, the Chargers will not kick on 3rd down. Tomlinson, and he'll get a couple. So it's the 21. It's 4th down. Kading and the group coming in to try to win the game, try to send them back east next weekend. It will be about a 39-yard field goal. See where they spot it. David Binn, who's been their longtime snapper, he in fact was on the Chargers Super Bowl team after the '94 season. The only such Charger. Mike Cyphers, who's the punter, will hold it. They'll spot it at the 30, a 40-yard field goal. And timeout is called by the Jets.
And you have to think that this is going to work. I mean, it's the type of thing that you want to do. You want to freeze the kicker. You let him get out there, get all ready, get his spot like they did. Then you take a timeout, and then you let him. I used to always believe that if they did that to you, you'd come off the field, and then you would start the whole procedure again. I mean, have your kicker come off, your holder come off, and then they go back on the field again. They get their spot and go through everything that they go through.
Meanwhile, it's so great, a crowd in this situation. I mean, they're exuberant, they're on their feet, they're wild at the end of regulation. And then you get to this situation where as soon as the Chargers got into overtime, it's like it's been still in here. Quiet, nervous, and they're just waiting to explode.
And then you have a kicker, and as you said, the rookie kicker, who you don't pay a lot of attention to all year. Not in the locker room, not at practice, and now it's all up to him.
Here's your ball game. And he's going to miss it wide to the right. Wow! And all of the air comes out of the stadium, and the Jets will get the ball at the 30-yard line.
You see Eric Barton, he feels awfully good about that. I mean, this day, remember we said you can put it in the middle, the right, or the left. They ran the ball to the right, which put the ball on the right hash mark, which means the ball on the right hash mark, you have to bring it in left a little. He just kept it on the right hash mark, and he just kind of pushed it straight outside.
I know it's a second guess in a way, and we're on the other side of it, but I didn't like what the Chargers did. They ran those 3 plays. I mean, why run 3 plays like that through the middle to keep possession of the ball, gain no yardage, and a 40-yard field goal is anything but a chip shot in this situation. I mean, under this kind of pressure, a 40-yarder is like a 53-yarder.
Right, and then, you know, I first guessed because I thought that when you get in that situation, you do take a shot at the end zone.
First down, no fouls.
Because a lot of times, you know, we assume when we get in field goal range that we have 3 points. You get in field goal range, but you still have to make the kick.
And the Chargers were moving, and the Jet defense was gassed. And now, of course, it all shifts to the green and white from the 30-yard line. Here's Martin. And they stop him after a gain of 4. So now Martin can assume the role that Tomlinson did in that last series and try to push the Jets into field goal position.
You know, and that's the type of guy, you know, Curtis Martin is the type of guy you want in that situation. You know, he's a pounder, he's a slasher. He's not going to lose yardage, and he's not going to lose the ball.
Second down and 6 from the 34-yard line. Chargers showing blitz. They come. Pennington hits and throws, and the pass is into the hands of Moss, and he makes the catch. Moss makes the catch across the 50 at the 48-yard line. Pass floated, hung, and it's good for 18 yards.
Not only floated and hung, but it also looked like it dropped a little. But I'll tell you, I was talking about Curtis Martin as a runner. He's also a big blocker. But watch Santana Moss as he comes back. I mean, this play is coming in and dropping, and he had to go and get underneath it. But Curtis Martin made a heck of a block to make that possible.
We're reviewing that.
Now, that's what I thought. I thought when they stopped the clock here, again, there's no challenge by a coach in overtime. It all starts upstairs. And so in a situation this critical, they're going to stop it on a play that is this close. He appears to get his hands underneath it. But the ball, from another angle, we just saw an angle that it looked like the ball hit the ground.
Well, the ball bounced. I mean, you know, you can have maybe both hands underneath the ball, and when it hits, it bounces, because it does bounce, but I don't know that it hit the ground. I mean, you can see it bounce.
Yeah, you see it bounce, but he has his forearms and hands underneath it. And they ruled it a completed pass. So again, you have to see evidence that it wasn't a completed pass.
That is a tough one.
Very.
I mean, I think he had his hands under it and had control of it, and the ball bounced in his hands.
And for Schottenheimer, if they lose this game, I mean, we talked about it before, what's happened to him in the playoffs. John Elway's drive, Ernest Biner's fumble in back-to-back championship games, costing him chances to go to the Super Bowl. Lynn Elliott missing 3 field goals when he's at Kansas City. He has seen it all. And then Nate Kading missing this one from 40, leaving it outside.
You know, not to second guess either, but had you left that in the middle of the field, that would have been good.
Yeah.
When you put it out there in that right hash mark, because he just kind of kicked it straight, really.
The ruling was on the field that the hands were under the ball. The replay shows that the ball moved, but the hands did appear to be under the ball. Therefore, the ruling stands as called. It's completed pass, first down.
Same way we saw it. Yep.
You know, as you say, this crowd doesn't know what to do now. I mean, they've been up and down like yo-yos. I mean, and then they have to be quiet for the kick, and then they're quiet. Then they miss the kick, and now the Jets have the ball. Moss makes a catch here, and now the only thing they can do is hope that their defense can come up with a big play.
And Moss were in a parking lot for hours, and the game is now almost 4 hours old.
We were here at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Martin. Try to stand him up, and Curtis just keeps on moving, and it's a gain of a couple to the 46.
I'll say one thing for this Charger defense: that inside running has been very, very difficult for the Jets. Again, that's Kevin Mawai blocking on Jamal Williams. Jamal Williams doing a heck of a job. I mean, Kevin Mawai is a 6-time All-Pro. I mean, he's a heck of a player himself.
2nd and 7. Pressure begins to build now on Doug Bryan, the Jets kicker. Pennington with that hop and throw, and up in the air and making the catch and holding it in for a first down is Justin McCarron. And now the Jets are closing in on field goal range at the 34-yard line. 11-yard gain.
You know, Chad Pennington has never had a strong arm anyway, but he knows when to get the ball out and where to put it, and that's the toughest throw you have to throw. You know, you say, how's your strong arm? And you always think of the deep throw, but it's throwing that out and comeback, especially from the wide side.
Pennington 279 yards tonight. Jordan's in the backfield. Jordan gets in behind Gerald Sowell, and Jordan goes down the sidelines, and Jordan has a first down at the 15-yard line. And now well within range for Bryan.
Sowell made a good block on that play, and I think that's one of the reasons, and one of the things that Herm Edwards was talking about. You need an explosive play. When you can't run inside, then you have to get the ball outside. Then if you have to get the ball outside, then you'd like a Lamont Jordan in there to do it. Now, I still think the same thing for the Jets here. First down, I think before you settle to try for a field goal, you try and get the touchdown.
Jordan is the back. Jordan to the outside. Puts his head down, gets 3, goes to the 12-yard line. This might be the last play before they bring Bryan in, because, again, you give yourself a better chance on third down in case the snap is bad or the hold is bad. You still have another shot. Bryan's been shaky tonight. Remember that the field goal that he made was the double doink.
That's why I think I would still try and take a shot. Look out here how far that corner is off there.
2nd and 7. Jordan, he gets it to the 9-yard line, and let's see if they bring in Bryan, and it appears that they will. Here he comes. So you had the rookie Kading. Now Bryan's been around a long time, 11 years in the league, a lot of pressure situations.
3rd and 5 from the 10.
And I've known Doug Bryan for a long time, and I've always felt that he is very, very good under pressure. I never felt that pressure really bothered this guy. He doesn't make every kick, but I don't think he's one of those guys that is unnerved.
28-yard attempt. And the New York Jets have pulled it out, but hold everything. It was waved off because the Chargers took a timeout at the very last second.
Right, and they
millisecond.
Did. Yeah, I saw the official start to run in and wave his hands
Timeout.
Before that ball was kicked.
Called by the coach. That's their second. It's a 30-second timeout.
He got a practice swing in. And at Schottenheimer, it's a new rule this year. A coach can call a timeout.
Yeah, and usually you have that official, you're close to that official, and you tell him you're going to, and they relate it to the other official, and he started to run in and wave his hands before that snap came. So that wasn't one of those things that, you know, happened after.
8 seconds left in the 5th period.
Again, Doug Bryan stays out there, but he is going to respot it. See, they go through that whole thing. He shows him where he wants to spot it. The holder shows where he's going to put it.
Pennington holding on to a Bishop. Girth to snap it. Going to hold it. 28 yards to win the game. Got it. And the New York Jets will fly home. And for Eric Barton, a reprieve. He got off the figurative football death row. And for Nate Kading, he may fall asleep by Monday.
And that's one thing that Eric Barton will never forget, because as I said earlier, a win will help it. A win is going to help it. He's still not going to forget it. Perfect snap, perfect hole, and a perfect kick.
Prayer
Did
answered.
I dodge one?
Ooh. He will not go down in Jet infamy. Pennington holding on to Bishop Harris. And this crowd is dead silent. And Herm Edwards can't even bear to look. Unless he was looking up at the Jumbotron.
He could have been, because the Jumbotron, they have a Jumbotron on either end here.
And for Marty, this one goes down with Elway, with Biner, with Lynn Elliott, and all the rest. Auto Trader post-game show coming up next. The Jets in overtime beat the Chargers.